It's the home opener for the Baylor Bears for the 2025-26 season. It has already been a fantastic start to the year. The Bears picking up a top 10 victory in Paris. Today, back at home after the win over Duke. Their opponent this afternoon, the Lions of Lindenwood. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us. Alongside Lori Fogelman, I'm Derek Smith here at Foster Pavilion along the Baylor-Waco Brazos Riverfront. Our courtside engineer is Bob Baker. Cameron Savoy, our producer at our studios in Waco. Pleased to have you with us on this Sunday afternoon. Baylor 1-0 on the young season back at home. And, you know, Lori, I don't think you could ask for a much better way to start the year. I know for the team, it was such a great experience to be in Paris, but then to show not just that, hey, anyone can go out there and enjoy a road trip away, or you can have fun seeing sights you've never seen before. But when you also prove you can take care of business, well, that's pretty fun too. And that's what they did, picking up a top 10 win 40 minutes into the regular season.
I think you're absolutely right about that, Derek, when you talk about a team that had fun, but when it came down to business time for that 40 minutes, they really played well for the beginning of the year. Nobody is going to come out and shoot lights out or play perfect defense. After all, it's the first few moments that teams are hitting the floor and playing a game that really counts. But for this team to withstand the first 5 minutes of that game when Duke could have really started to bury Baylor as they made a couple of mistakes or hitting some shots. But, once Baylor all of a sudden got some shots to drop, their confidence came up, their defense came to play, and wow, did they have quite a couple of players in Dariana Littlepage-Buggs early, and then Talia Scott, especially in the second half.
Well, I want to talk about the defense of the game, but let's talk about Talia Scott. 24 points. She authored a 6-0 run at the beginning of the fourth quarter that really set the tone. She was aggressive. A little bit later on, one of the questions I actually asked Coach Nikki Collin in the pregame interview is, how do you manage a player who's explosive? Because what might not be a bad shot for someone else is a good shot for Talia. She's going to talk about that a little bit later on, but Lori, Baylor has had some good players in recent years, but I think it's been a little bit since even one game in, you kind of look and think, boy, there's a player who you might just, a guard who might just be able to take over the game for a while.
And I think that's somebody who can do that. I mean, what we saw out of Talia Scott was what we saw out of a lot of this team, and that was the fear factor, and I will call it the non-fear factor, because they came out, played, nobody ever looked scared. I mean, I just saw Markayla Johnson, Baylor's lone freshman, warming up, and the spotlight was just not too big for her either. Of course, Coach Nikki said she must have been so young that she just didn't even realize what a big spotlight that was. But each player who came in contributed some really important moments. The starters played well. I think Jana Van Dyke learned a lot playing at the point, but the way that she can facilitate a game. And I think you saw other players who just gained more confidence, and especially somebody like the brand new players, KJ, for one, Kyla Abraham coming in, sometimes playing that dual post role, and Kirsten Johnson and Kyla Abraham. We saw a lot out of this team that they could be very versatile and throw a lot of different looks at you.
And they did, Lori, particularly down low, authored some great defense. The team had 9 block shots. Kyla Abraham, a career-high 4 block shots in the win over Duke. They held Duke to 29% shooting. It's the first time since the turn of the millennium that a D1 team has opened the season against a top 10 opponent and held them to 30% or less shooting from the field. And Lori, I think what was encouraging to me is everyone was in on the act. Everyone was making plays. You saw the Baylor's length on the perimeter, but more than that, I think you saw a clear step up in her game from Kyla Abraham, and I think Kirsten Johnson showed you what she could be as well.
You know, they're both two different players. I think in the media earlier this week, Kyla likes to bang down low, and Kirsten is super athletic and can play all over the floor. We didn't get a chance to see a lot of that. We saw her in transition, be able to finish at the rim, but we have not seen her game from the outside, that 15-footer or maybe even a three ball out of her. So some really versatile athletic players, and look forward to seeing a lot more players get out there and play, especially here at Baylor's home opener.
Baylor and Lindenwood out on the Foster Pavilion hardwood warming up right now. This is the Conecuh Sausage countdown to tip-off. Conecuh Sausage is made from the finest cuts of pork. Their patented blend of seasonings, and it is smoked over a pure hickory fire for that true hickory smoked southern flavor. Conecuh Sausage is always great on the grill and perfect for tailgating. Pick up a pack and enjoy in your family's favorite recipes at any meal today. Conecuh Sausage, a game day tradition, and the official smoked sausage of the Baylor Bears. A little bit later on, we're going to hear from Bears head coach Nikki Collin. We'll give you the starting lineups as well. But coming up next, we're going to hear from one of those players who did a really nice job in Baylor's win over Duke on Monday. That is Kyla Abraham. We'll talk to her when we come back after this on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
A bank in any town, U.S. treats everyone like, well, anyone. At Central National Bank, we provide Central Texans with a different kind of banking. We believe in people over processes,
and Derek,
listening over telling, and helping customers over helping ourselves. Come to Central National Bank and
oh no, you're fine. You mean the G-Man, right?
Bank Central. Central National Bank. Member FDIC. Proud partner of Baylor Athletics.
Come see why Green Eye Associates is voted best in Waco year after year. Enjoy exceptional service and care from Dr. Leanne Green alongside her dedicated optometrist and staff. Receive trustworthy insights on your eye health. Enjoy the impressive variety of contacts and eyewear, and work with the most experienced optical team in Waco. Don't miss the new state-of-the-art dry eye therapies that rejuvenate the eyes and face with safe, non-invasive treatments to restore comfort and quality of life. Green Eye Associates, official optometrist of Baylor Athletics.
Premier ER and Urgent Care has all the convenience of urgent care, all the expertise of an ER, all under one roof. At every visit, be seen by ER-trained staff with on-site lab and CT, X-ray, ultrasound, and EKG. Here, you pay for the appropriate level of care.
Oh no.
And we are in network with most major insurance providers. Premier ER and Urgent Care has 4 convenient locations serving Texas: San Marcos, Temple, Waco, and Woodway. To learn more, visit www.premier.care.
Do you want to earn points while cheering on your favorite Baylor teams? Join Baylor Bold Rewards. Track your attendance on the Baylor Sports app across athletic events and earn points towards prizes and experiences. Download the Baylor Sports app or register online today at BaylorBoldRewards.com and start earning your points today.
You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Baylor's opponent today, the Lindenwood Lions, continue to warm up on the floor. A little bit later on, we'll give you the starting lineups in this game. But right now, Lori, let's take a moment to talk about who Baylor is playing today before we visit with Kyla Abraham. Lori, Lindenwood, a team that is in their 4th year at the Division I level. They're in the St. Louis, Missouri area, suburb of St. Charles, the Ohio Valley Conference. They actually made the Ohio Valley Conference championship game last year. I would say Baylor opened up with a slightly tougher opponent. Baylor playing a top 10 team in Duke. Lindenwood opening up against an NAIA school, Harris Stowe. But it was the largest margin of victory in Lindenwood history, 107-23, so they probably gained some confidence coming off of that first game. But I think for Baylor today, you got to respect who you're playing, but also it's about your game and what you do.
It truly is. I mean, you do want to respect all opponents, and you want to start strong. I mean, it's all. I think these are the games where you see it's all about Baylor. What can you do to attack this team successfully? How well can you defend them on the other end of the floor? You're playing a team. Yes, they've only played one game, but they've got 4 juniors who are in their starting lineup. So they are a lot like Baylor in a team that's a lot older and has a lot of experience. So, Baylor is ready to play after that game in Paris. They're ready to be back home in Waco, Texas, and play here at Foster Pavilion.
Well, and it's going to be interesting, too. They spent a lot of time working, getting ready for Duke. Now you settle into a rhythm. I think they're going to handle it just fine, but I think it is interesting. They prepared so well. Clearly, they executed and they won the game, and I think it was really exciting for the players to have spent as much time as they did working towards something and achieving that goal. But now you kind of start building those rhythms. It's funny. Most games aren't going to be in Paris. You and I are not going to spend 24 hours ourselves in a foreign country generally and then head back home. Players aren't going to spend 5 days there. But now you start building these. This is where you kind of start building the rhythms, the habits that kind of sustain you day in, day out.
And I tell you what, one of the biggest habits will be, and one of the most important things, is film study. That's the first time that Baylor was able to see themselves on film after a game against a top 10 opponent in Duke. And so they saw a lot of things that they did well. They saw a lot of things that, that wasn't the play they were supposed to be running, and somebody was out there just freelancing. But then you get a chance to see it on film. You get a chance to learn a lot from that, and I think that's where Baylor will begin that process over the next 2 months, the rest of November, and then going into December. How you begin to really tighten things up offensively and defensively. You build a lot of confidence, and you get ready for Big 12 play.
Well, one player who surely built some confidence on Monday was Kyla Abraham, a career-high 4 blocked shots for the Bears, in addition to 5 points and 4 rebounds. Really a nice game for her. We all said it. Interestingly enough, as she tells us, she didn't feel like it was a great game for her as it was happening.
In the moment, a little bit nerve-wracking, playing a top 10 team, knowing that I, as a fourth-year senior, have to come out and produce for this team at the best of my capabilities. And, I feel like,
sounds good, Derek.
Personally, I have a tendency to focus on the negative and what I didn't do and what I didn't complete. And that's why I felt like my game wasn't as good as it could have been. But then, hearing people like, oh, you had a good game, 4 blocks, that's something that, not a lot of people get to do, especially against a top 10 team. So just after the game, being able to reflect on it and be like, okay, maybe I did have a better game than I thought. I have to stop focusing on the negative and holding myself back.
Kyle, as you say that, I think, I look at what you all did. They have some Duke had talented players in the post, and you and KJ did a great job slowing them down. Felt like they had to work for everything they get. Is that something afterwards you're able to be like, oh, it's not just about my stats, it's about what Duke's talented players didn't do, and you all really shut them down defensively?
Yeah, I always talk about this, last year being my first year, really producing on the court and having to go out and play someone like Audie Crooks, who's averaging 20 points, or going out and guarding Lauren Betts and the Sedona Princes. I feel like those prepared me very well to be ready to go out and do what I did against Duke and be able to limit their post players' numbers. Now, Toby did have 16 points still, but, top players are going to do what top players are going to do. And, being able to limit her touches, limit her post entries and whatever is something that I think me and KJ excelled in.
How would you say you and KJ mesh together when you're on the floor at both ends?
I feel like, I don't know about KJ, but I'm pretty used to it now, especially last year when at the end of the season when me and Nettie were playing together a little bit more. It now feels easier. At first I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I'm not really good at this, but it became easier. We just have to understand whose role is what. A lot of the times KJ is the 4 on offense and I'm the 4 on defense, which sometimes gets tricky, especially with our teammates, but we've worked around it, and having KJ out there with me is honestly a blessing. She's a very smart player, really elite player. I love playing with her.
Well, you're back at home now. Have you been able to adjust to the fact that it's not the Eiffel Tower and French food anymore? It's kind of getting back to routine, but it's a fun routine.
Yeah. Being in Paris was a very grateful experience, but I'm so happy to be back home. Love Waco. I love everything about Waco. I love our fans. I love our home court. So I'm excited to come out, first official home game, be able to produce for our fans and bring them out.
Bluebonnet Health Services has been caring for Central Texans since 2004. Bluebonnet is locally owned and operated, which allows them the most interaction with patients each and every day, promoting compassionate care and integrity. They provide hands-on attention to their patients through a staff with years of experience. Bluebonnet Health Services provides home health care, supportive care, and hospice. Remember, it's your health, your choice. Ask your doctor for Bluebonnet Health Services.
If you're stuck in a high auto loan rate, it's time to call an Audible.
Hi, I'm Joe Betsy Tyler with First Central. When it comes to your auto loan, you don't have to stay in a bad formation. Call the right play. Refinance with First Central and get a lower rate, fast approvals, and a team that knows how to win local.
FirstCentralCU.com and apply today.
First Central Credit Union. Everything we do for you.
Membership and loan policy requirements apply. Member NCUA.
The Toyota Trucks Game Day sales event is on, and there's no one key to victory. You need strength. You need power. You need agility. You need a team that shows up ready to win. And Toyota Trucks, yeah, they bring the full roster. The Toyota Tundra and Tacoma are built for it all. With available bed-mounted power outlets, massive towing capability, and a cabin fit for your crew, Toyota Tundra and Tacoma don't just show up to game day, they dominate it. Kick off the season with big savings during the Toyota Trucks Game Day sales event. But hurry, these deals won't last forever.
Toyota is a proud partner of Baylor Athletics. Wear green, haul gold in a new Tundra or Tacoma. Built to take you wherever the road leads on game day and visit your local Toyota dealer today.
Toyota, let's go places. See packages and options at toyota.com for feature availability.
You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Here with you at Foster Pavilion, Cameron Savoy at our studios in Waco, getting you ready for the home opener today from Foster Pavilion. Baylor and Lindenwood, both teams 1-0. Baylor ranked number 16 in the nation, and that is sure to climb when the rankings come out next week after their win over Duke on Monday. This is Conecuh Sausage Countdown to Tip-Off. Conecuh Sausage is made from the finest cuts of pork. Their patented blend of seasonings, and it's smoked over a pure hickory fire for that true hickory smoked southern flavor. Conecuh Sausage is always great on the grill. Perfect for tailgating. Pick up a pack and enjoy your family's favorite recipes at any meal of the day. Conecuh Sausage, a game day tradition, and the official smoked sausage of the Baylor Bears. Starting lineups have yet to be introduced, but we have them and we will give them to you now when it comes to sports medicine and orthopedics. Baylor Scott and White Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics brings the home team advantage to Central Texans. First for Baylor's opponent, the Lions of Lindenwood, 1-0 on the season, coming off a 107-23 win over Harris Stowe, an NAIA school in the St. Louis area, which is also where Lindenwood resides. The lineup that is rolled out by their 30-year head coach, Amy Egan, looks like this. The forwards are Alyssa Nielsen and Gracie Kelsey. Both of them averaged, and both of them through one game scored double-figure points. They combined 25 points and 10 rebounds in the front court. The point guard is Brooke Coffey, 15 points, 13 rebounds, and 6 assists. The other guards are Ellie Brigham, 18 points in the win over Harris Stowe, and Alicia Jones, who led all scorers in that game with 21. Bears are taking the floor now, and there are new all-green uniforms from Nike with gold letters and numerals and gold striping, but green, the predominant color everywhere. Nikki Collins' starting lineup looks like this. The forwards, Kirsten Johnson, Dariana Littlepage Buggs, and Bella Fauntleroy. KJ matched her career high with 8 rebounds against Duke on Monday. Dariana Littlepage Buggs, a double-double, 10 and 10. Bella Fauntleroy, 4.6 rebounds. And then the guards, Jenna Van Geitenbeek, 5 points and 4 assists in her first game back after a torn ACL last year. And then Talia Scott, who led all scorers in that game with 24 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. She really changed the game in the fourth quarter. So for the Bears, it's Van Geitenbeek, Scott, Fauntleroy, Buggs, and KJ. For Lindenwood, it's Jones, Brigham, Coffey, Nielsen, and Kelsey. Starting lineups are brought to you by Baylor Scott and White Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. From injury prevention to enhanced recovery, team up with us to get back in the game. Those are your starting lineups. We're going to hear from Bears head coach Nikki Collins when we return right after this. Her pregame comments and then the tip here on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
See for yourself why Green Eye Associates is voted best in Waco year after year. Enjoy exceptional service and care from Dr. Leanne Green, along with her dedicated optometrists and staff. Receive trustworthy insights about your eye health, enjoy the impressive variety of contacts and eyewear, and work with the most experienced optical team in Waco. Don't miss the new state-of-the-art dry eye therapies that rejuvenate the eyes, face, and neck areas with safe, non-invasive treatments to restore comfort and quality of life. Visit greeneyeassociates.com. Green Eye Associates, official optometrist of Baylor Athletics.
A bank in any town USA treats everyone like, well, anyone. At Central National Bank, we provide Central Texans with a different kind of banking. We believe in people over processes, listening over telling, and helping our customers over helping ourselves. Come to Central National Bank and experience the difference. Bank different, Bank Central. Central National Bank, member FDIC. Proud partner of Baylor Athletics.
Today we have two very special guests on our program, introducing Lem and Lime.
Hello.
For Starry Lemon Lime Soda.
Thanks for having us.
What is Starry Lemon Lime Soda?
It's a crisp, clear burst of lemon lime flavor, and it's caffeine-free.
Between us, one of you must be a little more important to Starry than the other. Who is it?
We're both important.
So we could just as easily be Starry Lime Lemon Soda.
No, that doesn't sound right.
Oh, I like it.
So you saying hip-hop could be hop-hip?
Works for me.
Starry Lemon Lime Soda. Starry hits different.
Premier ER and Urgent Care has all the convenience of urgent care with all the expertise of an ER, all under one roof. At every visit, be seen by ER-trained staff with on-site lab and CT, X-ray, ultrasound, and EKG. Here, you pay for the level of care that you receive, and we are in network with most major insurance providers. Premier ER and Urgent Care has 4 convenient locations serving Texas: San Marcos, Temple, Waco, and Woodway. To learn more, visit www.premier.care.
You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
It's the home opener today, Baylor and Lindenwood at Foster Pavilion. It's time for a pregame visit with Bears head coach Nikki Collin. Coach Nikki, obviously a great opener for the team in France. I want to start by asking about the defense. You hold Duke to 29% shooting. And you said that particularly, the defense in the post was at times elite. Why was that, and what are some things you want to take away from that, no matter who you're playing?
Well, I thought, for the majority of the game, we did a good job with our game plan, helping off Jaden Donovan to provide more help in the post. I thought both Kyla and KJ protected the rim on drives, challenge shots at the rim, on post-ups, offensive rebounds, things like that. And so I just thought we played athletically around the rim. And I think when you have rim protection, even if you go back to our first year, when probably analytically it was the best defensive year we've had, when you've got an Alyssa Smith and Queen Egbo protecting the rim and Caitlin Bickle taking charges, it makes it really, really hard to shoot a high percentage if you're not shooting a high percentage around the rim. So I thought both from a game plan, game prep perspective, who we needed to help off, what shots we were willing to give up. If you take away some of our transition defensive mistakes, our half-court defense I thought was pretty elite.
Visiting with Coach Nikki Collin. It's Baylor and Lindenwood today. Nikki, against Duke, you win a game against a top 10 team in which Bugs, Bella, and Jana combined to shoot 6 of 28. Is that an encouraging stat, or feel like shooting can come and go, but maybe hopefully some of the things you did there can last?
Yeah, I think when you think about, we've always talked about we want to be able to win a game in the 50s. We want to be able to win a game in the 80s, and I think that was a game where we didn't allow our offensive inefficiency to affect how we guarded. And that's really, really important. And those guys are all good scorers. I thought, Bugs was impacted by the length at the rim. Duke has elite shot blockers. And so you're either rushing or you don't get a clean look at the rim. And I thought that was a little bit for her, was the length of the contest. I thought Bella missed a couple easy ones inside, but I thought her shot selection was really good. Had a couple threes go in and out. And Jana's just working her way back. I mean, it wasn't Jana's best day, and she'd be the first to tell you that. But when you talk about your first game back, your first start of your college career is against the top 10 opponent with Jaden Donovan, who guarding you, who's all ACC defensive team, is longer, quicker, more, all the things. She's going to grow from that. And so I think their games were all slightly differently, impacted differently, but ultimately they're all go-to players for us, and just proud of the way they continued to battle, even though maybe their shots didn't fall.
Jana, it was big to get her out there for the first time in a year in a game that counted in the standings. For her, how much of it was just going out there and competing and feeling good afterwards and knowing she contributed to a win?
Yeah, I think the last shot was big. I had moved her off the point. I told her, I'm going to move you off the point. I'm going to put Talia at the point right now. And I said, you're going to make a big shot off the ball for us. And she did. And so hopefully that confidence carries over. The more you play, the more the game slows down. And I think when you take time off, the game was sped back up. And she's got to see it slow down again. Jana's strength is she's always the best conditioned player on the floor, regardless of opponent and team. And so, she tends to get better as the game goes along. As other people get tired, she doesn't. And so, she just has to play to her strengths, understand what we want, taking open shots, when to attack, when to get off the ball. And she'll get a better feel for that. I think regardless of the injury, I told Jana, I said, a year ago you were going to be an energy player off the bench for us, and it was a really important role. I said, but this is the first time in your career that you're a starter, that you're a captain, and we need you to get better, certainly. But it's a new role for her, and so you just don't get that perfect the first time out, and especially considering the opponent. So I'm excited to see how she rebounds from that, and it might not be perfect today, but she'll continue to work at it because she wants to do well.
Finally, Coach Nikki, can't end without asking about Talia Scott, the game she had 24 points, a 6-0 run at the start of the fourth quarter. Obviously a big impact in the game. I'm curious, the weapon that she is, what are some of the ways you can use her that are maybe different from other players, and what do you tell her constitutes, a good shot? Because it seems like maybe some shots for her that might be bad for others might work for her.
Well, I think, every game's different, but when you think about a Duke game, when elite teams play against one another, oftentimes it's players making plays, and you have to give players the confidence to take and make plays. And if you overcoach and you don't let them make mistakes, or every shot is, you're challenging whether it was a good or a bad shot. I pulled Talia over one time in the Duke game, and I said, hey, they've gotten the last 2 shots you've taken have been quick. They've led to runouts and transition buckets because we can't get back. I said, I need you to be a little bit of a playmaker here and get downhill. And she got the ball, went to the basket, got fouled the next possession. So she's coachable, and I think, you want her confident to take tough shots, but you certainly have to understand the flow of the game, what's going on. And I just think she's somebody that can make tough shots. I think she's someone that can get to the foul line. Probably the best guard we've had since I've been here at getting to the foul line. And so, you got to let her cook a little bit. I had an AAU coach tell me that was a commercial, that Duke game was a commercial of how to coach an elite scorer. And I just said, you earn the right to do that for me. That's not a, hey, I'm just going to let anybody come in and take whatever shot they want. Talia's proven day out in practice what she's capable of doing. And especially in a game like that, you have to let her make some plays to give yourself a chance to win. So elite scorer, want her to continue to be more of a leader with the ball in her hands. She's someone we can put the ball in her hands as a point guard. We can play her off the ball and get her the ball. She can shoot on the move, so you can move her around and do a lot of different things with her.
All right, thanks very much. Bears head coach Nikki Collin with the pregame comments. It's the home opener coming up straight ahead. Baylor and Lindenwood here on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Hellberg Barbecue is a family-owned business started here in Waco, Texas, and proud to serve the local area. They love to cater all kinds of events, big and small. Serving Baylor and its families is one of their favorite things, and they even ship barbecue nationwide. Check them out while here in Waco or online and support one of Waco's local barbecue restaurants, Hellberg Barbecue. Pepper and a whole lot of prayer.
Hi, I'm Jim Turner at Jim Turner Chevrolet in McGregor. As we celebrate our 10th year anniversary, I want to say thank you to all of our customers. Our dealership is more than a business to me. That's why when you come see us for a reliable new Chevy or award-winning service, we treat you like family. Come see our new collision center, now open to serve you even better for many years to come. Enjoy the game, then come see us at Jim Turner Chevrolet in McGregor. Together, let's drive.
Kids can now join the Baylor Cub Club, the official kids club of Baylor Athletics, presented by Green Eye Associates. Fans 12 and under can register for the low cost of $25 and gain exclusive benefits and access to Baylor Athletics events. Members receive free admission to select events, exclusive giveaway access, and their own membership package. To register your Cub, please visit BaylorBears.com/Cub Club. Sign your Cub up today.
Are you tired of slow internet? Are data caps and throttling making it impossible to stream your favorite shows and movies? If so, it sounds like it's time to switch to NextLink Internet. With NextLink, there are no data caps and no throttling, just super fast internet speeds, up to 1 gig over wireless in some areas. Plus, NextLink is an official partner of Baylor Athletics. So don't wait another minute. Give NextLink a call or go online to nextlinkinternet.com to see what special offers are available to you. Blazing fast internet is just a click or phone call away. Sick 'em, Bears!
Fox Sports Radio, 93.9 K230 CK and KRMX HD3 Waco.
This is Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Brooks wants to drive in on Abraham, who blocked her shot.
Way to go, Abraham. She held her ground.
Top of the key and traffic out to 3 from the left side, and it's good.
Today's game is brought to you by Central National Bank, proud season sponsor of Baylor Women's Basketball. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, championship partner of Baylor Athletics. Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance online to find a local agent today. Baylor Scott and White Health, the official hospital and healthcare system of Baylor Athletics. Your healthcare, your way. Libman, America's trusted brand name in cleaning. TFNB, your bank for life. The official local bank of Baylor Athletics. Premier ER and Urgent Care. Feel better now. Get ready. Tip-off is just moments away. Now, back to the voice of Baylor Women's Basketball, Rick Smith.
Ready for the 2025-26 home opener. The Bears coming off of that big top 10 win over Duke on Monday. Back on the hardwood at Foster Pavilion for the first time against the Lindenwood Lions. Baylor wearing their new green uniforms and shorts from Nike with the gold letters and numerals, gold trim and gold stripes on the shoulders. Lindenwood in all white uniforms with black and gold striping. Kirsten Johnson and Brooke Coffey will jump at midcourt, and the tip is knocked back into the backcourt, controlled by Talia Scott, and we are underway. Baylor and Lindenwood at Foster Pavilion. Here's Bella Fauntleroy driving down the right side of the lane, has the ball smothered out of bounds, and it will stay with the Bears. 10 seconds into the game. Bella Fauntleroy drove down the right side of the lane, but ran into a crowd beneath the basket. Same starters for the Bears as Monday, Van Geitenbeek, Scott, Fauntleroy, Buggs, and KJ, Kirsten Johnson. Inbound comes right elbow to Fauntleroy, spins it outside right wing to Van Geitenbeek, who swings it around the horn to Bella Fauntleroy, further out left side to Scott. Back to Buggs, one dribble inside and a whistle. And as she drove aggressively towards the basket, she was fouled by Gracie Kelsey, the forward for Lindenwood, and that's the first on the Lions. It is Jones, Brueggemann, Coffey, Kelsey, and Nielsen on the floor to start the game for the Lions. Janet to play it in, finds Talia Scott, catch and shoot on the three, and she knocks it down. And that's the way the scoring begins here on this Sunday afternoon. Talia Scott picking up where she left off on Monday. Baylor's three-point shooting was not good against Duke, 3 of 15, so it's just one shot, but nice to see it go in. Now Bella cuts in front of a pass on the perimeter, steals, and drives the other way to the basket to lay it in over at Coffey. A 5-0 Baylor burst, and that's the score 45 seconds into the ball game. Lindenwood telegraphed that pass, and you know Bella Fauntleroy, an all Big 12 defender, knew what to do with it. Here is Coffee, high on the top of the arc, struggling to figure out what to do against Bella. Finally gets rid of it to Alicia Jones, their leading scorer in their win over Harris Stowe. Nearly a steal by Van Geitenbeek, but Brigham controls the pass. She forces up a step-back three that spins off the rim, and Bella collects the rebound. Here come the Bears running in transition. Now Van Geitenbeek slows up at the right perimeter around a bug screen. Spins it right side. Here's KJ for three, and the Bears are 2 for 2 from downtown.
What I was telling you about is that we have not seen KJ be able to pull the trigger from outside, but that time they busted her wide open from over in the corner. She delivered. Baylor up 8-0.
Minute and a half into the ball game, Lindenwood with an entry pass into the post and throws it away, and it'll go back to the Bears. That's 2 turnovers on Lindenwood. You know, Kirsten Johnson, Lori, had a nice game on Monday night. KJ, 4 points, 8 rebounds, a career high, matching 8 rebounds and 2 blocked shots. We haven't really seen her knock down the 3, but she can before today, but she can.
Yeah, the thing that makes her so unique is that the way that she runs the floor, she just spread out as Baylor pulled down a rebound. It got in transition.
Here's Scott on the drive. Can't get the driving fall away to fall left side of the lane. Rebound is picked up off the floor by Kelsey, and here comes Lindenwood the other way. Brigham nearly walked with it. Kicks it outside to Wernley. Wernley checked in during the dead ball period. Now here is Kelsey, top of the arc. Bears on defense with an 8-0 early Baylor lead. Pass down low to Coffee, falls away and misses the banker from the left block. Darion Littlepage Bugs, who had 10 rebounds on Monday, gets one here. Here's Bella knocking down a quick transition three. Darion Littlepage Bugs grabbed the rebound, outlet ahead to Bella. She turned, faced the basket, went ahead and shot it up there and knocked it down, prompting an early Lindenwood timeout. 2 minutes and 18 seconds into this one, Baylor with an 11-0 lead. The 2025-26 women's basketball season is presented by Central National Bank, proudly serving Central Texas in Waco, Temple, and Austin. Make different. Bank Central National Bank. All Bears in the early going against Lindenwood. Back with more after this here on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Serving Texas since 2007, Magnolia Realty is a full-service brokerage led by expert industry knowledge and a commitment to community. With kindness and integrity at the forefront, every agent is equipped to help you navigate the market and make the real estate journey your own. Whether buying or selling, feel supported with an award-winning agent at your side from first offer to contract and close. Magnolia Realty serves cities including Waco, Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, San Antonio, Temple. Learn more at magnoliarealty.com.
A bank in any USA treats everyone like, well, anyone. At Central National Bank, we provide Central Texans with a different kind of banking. We believe in people over processes, listening over telling, and helping our customers over helping ourselves. Come to Central National Bank and experience the difference. Bank different. Bank Central. Central National Bank. Member FDIC. Proud partner of Baylor Athletics.
You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
All of them by the Bears. 2 minutes and 18 seconds into the contest. That's where we are. Baylor, an 11-0 lead over Lindenwood. 7:42 to play first quarter. I want to say hello to all of you watching on the Courtside Cam. The Courtside Cam brought to you by NextLink, reliable, high-speed internet for your home or business. And Lori, right now, you know, you look, Baylor is knocking down shots. They knocked down 2 3-pointers already after hitting 3 the whole game against Duke. Also, you look, they have forced 2 turnovers, leading to 5 Baylor points. And looks like they came out ready, as you said during the break.
I mean, 3 of their 4 shots are triples that they were able to knock down, but most of the time when they've been able to do that, it's in that transition game. And Baylor is under Nikki Holland is known for getting out in space. And we've seen other Big 12 teams do that all the time. Iowa State comes to mind, Kansas State, where they spread the floor in transition and can get you on a 3, and that's certainly how Baylor has been handling the things here in the early going. Tremendous amount of confidence, and you could tell they were ready to play from the get-go.
Well, they prompted the early timeout from Amy Egan, the third-year head coach of the Lindenwood Lions. This is a team that's in their 4th year in Division I, the Ohio Valley Conference. And they reached the Ohio Valley Conference championship game last year. And they've made themselves at home in Division One. But Baylor with the early 11-0 lead here. 3 points apiece for Scott. Jonathan Johnson, 5 for Bella Fauntleroy. Lindenwood will take the floor with Coffey, Brigham, and Wernley, along with Scoff in for the first time. Maya Scoff, a 5'10 junior guard, and Gracie Kelsey. They play it into Brigham, and she will run point with Talia Scott guarding her. Original starters remain on the floor for the Bears. Here is Coffey facing the basket up top on the offset left side beyond the arc. Brigham on the drive right side, has her shot blocked, tries to keep it alive and tips it to Talia Scott. Ball knocked away from behind, but she saves it with a pass ahead to Dariana Little-Page Buggs, and then the Bears lose the basketball. Jana Van Geitenbeek kicking it back out into the corner, and there was no one there to grab it as they were trying to make something happen in transition. 11-0 Baylor lead. That turnover there by the Bears, their first of the afternoon. Here is Scoff with a behind-the-back dribble, harassed by Buggs. Unloads it out on the perimeter to Coffey, and now a foul on the perimeter. And it is Talia Scott getting called for the foul, despite hitting the deck there. She initiated the contact there and is called for the foul. That's the first on the Bears. Lindenwood will play it in from the baseline. It'll be Bruggeman to play it in. Looking, basket to her left, last minute finds Kelsey in the paint, who's too strong on a soft touch jumper, and the rebound is grabbed by Talia Scott. Baylor with the ball, an 11-0 lead, 3 minutes into the ball game. Scott calls for Buggs to come and get the pass. It's knocked away, but chased down near midcourt by Buggs. Here's Jana Van Geitenbeek picking up the dribble far away from the basket. Gives it to Kirsten Johnson. Now to Scott, back to KJ, mid-post, left side. Turnaround too strong, and Coffey collects the rebound. Coffey led all rebounders in their win on Monday with 13. In transition, Wernley misses a three from the right side. Johnson collects the rebound, and here comes Van Geitenbeek kicking it to Bella. Three from the right wing online, but too strong, and the rebound picked up off the floor there by Scoff. Scoff will slow it down. Score remains 11-0 at Baylor, just about 4 minutes into this one. Scoff takes the handoff and tries a deep three that is too short from the right side. KJ with another rebound, and here comes Van Geitenbeek after taking the feed from her. She'll slow down as Markayla Johnson prepares to check in on the next dead ball, the true freshman who played 19 minutes on Monday against Duke. Here is KJ swinging it to Bella, runs to drive, gets inside, looks for a teammate, flips it out to Van Geitenbeek, steps into a three, it's off the mark, and the rebound picked up off the floor by Lindenwood, but not before they fouled the Bears in the process. A push-off will maintain possession for the Bears. Markayla Johnson will check in for the Bears in place of Talia Scott. Kyla Abraham will spell Kirsten Johnson. What a game Kyla Abraham had on Monday. Lori, a career-high 4 blocked shots, 5 points, 4 rebounds. But it wasn't just the numbers. She impacted the game in a very, very positive way.
Yeah, when you play for 20 minutes, you know you're doing something right.
That foul, by the way, on Brooke Coffey, her first, Lindenwood second. Baylor plays it in, 14 seconds to clear a shot. Van Geitenbeek on the right side, just inside the perimeter. Passes out to Buggs with 9 on the shot clock. Buggs sees a lane to the basket, fumbles the basketball, kicks it out to Bella. Shot clock winding down, and she splashes in a three.
Yeah, that's like what Buggs did in Paris. Found a loose ball and was able to gather it in and find one of her teammates out on the perimeter. In Paris, it was Jana. That time it was Bella.
Oh, and then she simply knocks the ball out of the hands of Scoff, has a clear path to the basket, and lays it in. She has 10 of Baylor's 16 points, and the Bears lead Lindenwood 16-0 halfway through the first quarter. Markayla Johnson, the only true freshman on the roster, guarding strongly Valerie Norwood, who just checked in off the bench. She tips the ball away where it's stolen by Kyla Abraham. Here's looking to increase their 16-0 lead. Here's Van Geitenbeek finding Bella. She's feeling it, but that three spins out. Rebound kept alive by Abraham, but controlled by Scoff. Baylor 16, Lindenwood nothing. 4:44 to play in quarter number 1. Here is McCarn, who's checked in for the first time, a 6'4 freshman guard from Mountain Home, Arkansas. It is Norwood, the backup point guard, way up top, being guarded by Dariana Little-Page Buggs. She throws a long pass into the corner, too tall for Brooke Coffey. Another turnover gives it back to the Bears.
Bella gets a nice chance to sit down for just a moment as her teammate comes in. Wow, what a first few minutes, first 5.5 minutes for Bella Fauntleroy. features 10 points and a couple of steals.
And now Yu Ting Dong, who hit her first shot as a Bear on Monday, is in here in the first quarter. Baylor with the basketball. It is 16-0 lead. It's Buggs just inside the arc on the right side. Wants to drive inside on Scoff. Gets caught in between steps. Lost the ball out of bounds, but was last touched by Lindenwood. So Baylor will keep it with 13 seconds to shoot. A player who averaged double figures in limited action for Auburn last year. Took just one shot, limited playing time on Monday, but she hit that shot against the Blue Devils. Jana lobs it into Buggs high up beyond the arc. Now she passes it back to Van Guyton. Big perimeter right on the drive, cutting towards the basket. Buggs splashes in a short fall away from the right baseline.
Yeah, that is a money shot for Buggs. You know, she really wanted to put the ball on the floor and drive. She got a little bit of contact, but just bounced backwards and drains that short jumper.
Here's Wernley on the right side of the floor. Baylor with an 18-0 lead, nearly a steal for Abraham, but then she does a nice job after not getting the steal, recovering to stay in front of the player she's defending. Now Wernley drives inside, right baseline, and she's fouled on her way to the basket. Free throws are coming. They can finally dip the scoreboard from the free throw line as Talia Scott returns for Jana Van Guytenbeek. The foul called on Dariana Littlepage Buggs, her first, and the second on the Bears.
Buggs got caught in the air that time, but when she came back down, she knew it. Baylor up 18-0. Here, 3:44 left to go in the first quarter.
And just 6 field goals taken by Lindenwood. Baylor has turned them over 5 times, so that's almost a 1-to-1 ratio, as Wernley's first free throw is no good. She's got one more coming. She was 1 for 2 in their win over Harris Stowe. 18-0 Baylor lead, 3:44 to play here in the first quarter. Second free throw is good. That means Baylor kept them off the scoreboard for the first 6 minutes and 16 seconds of the afternoon. It's an 18-1 Baylor lead, 3.5 to go first quarter. Talia Scott bounces it and has it stolen, trying to hit Markayla Johnson. Scoff then fumbles the ball out of bounds. Just didn't have the handle on it as she made a beeline towards the open basket at the other end and just sort of fumbled it all the way down the floor until it bounced out of bounds. Never quite lost control, but never quite had it either. And here come the Bears the other way with an 18-1 lead. Baylor 7 of 12 from the floor, 4 of 7 from beyond the arc here in the first quarter. Markayla Johnson gives it off to Talia Scott between the circles, finds Dong left side, fakes a 3, drives inside left block, hands it off to Abraham. 10 seconds to shoot. Now it's Talia Scott wanting to drive left side of the floor, sees a lane, slips inside, gets to the basket and rolls it in. Boy, she does not need much of a window, does she, Lori?
She's got that great hesitation move that just will take a defender right out of their sneakers, and she can get to the rim, and she just has a really nice touch off the glass.
20-1, Baylor with the lead. Under 3 minutes to play in the first quarter. Still 20-1. That time it was Nielsen getting an open lane to the basket, but she felt defenders coming in behind her and blew the layup. Now at the other end, a quick 3 by Scott, no good. Abraham skies for the rebound, sends it outside to Markayla Johnson, who is fouled on her way into the bucket, and free throws are coming.
Well, I thought Scott was going to have that 3 from the top of the key because, as Coach Nikki was saying, she just found out that she really likes that step up. And she had a beautiful look at that, just coming up a little bit short. And Kayla Johnson gets up with the basketball, kind of finds her way with an upward shot that gets to the free throw line and make your points here.
First free throws for Markayla Johnson. The first is too strong. She's got one more coming. Kira Pemberton in for the first time. She saw limited action against Duke on Monday, but a player averaged 16 points and 7 rebounds last season at North Dakota. One more free throw coming from Markayla Johnson. That one is perfect, and it is a 21-1 Baylor lead. 2.5 minutes to play in the first quarter in the home opener. Alicia Jones out there on the floor alongside Nielsen. Also out there is Scoff, Brigham, and Kelsey for the Lions. Kelsey has it top of the arc, swinging the elbows, trying to find a teammate. Brigham will unload a long 3 and hit. He'll take her taking that shot. She knocked it down, though, and it's 21-4 Baylor. 2 minutes to play here in the first quarter. A pass hooked out to Markayla Johnson, who leapt for it, even though I don't know that she needed to, and she fumbled it away. That's a Baylor turnover, giving it back to the Lions. Here is Alyssa Nielsen giving it off to Alicia Jones. Her three too strong. Long rebound gathered in like a punt by Yuting Dong, and she gives it off to her former Auburn teammate, Talia Scott. Scott's pass is tipped, but Dong gets it back. She's going to try a three out of the corner and has it blocked there by Brigham, and she thought she had more room than she did. Now long outlet pass to Scoff, and she is fouled on her way to the basket by Pemberton. Free throws coming. Pemberton was providing good defense, Laura, but a little bit of body and hand in there, looked like. Fans didn't like it, but it was a good effort, just a little bit of contact.
Yeah, especially when you're coming back from behind. I thought she got her hands on the basketball, but that's not necessarily where the foul comes from.
First free throw is no good. That was Brigham on the miss. Baylor up 21-4 with 98 seconds to play. Make that 88 seconds to play here in the first quarter. Second free throw rattles home. And it is 21-5. Little 4-0 burst by Lindenwood here as Wernley returns for the Lions. Baylor playing with Scott, Pemberton, Abraham, Markayla Johnson, and Yuting Dong. Here is Scott, top of the arc, sees a little bit of a lane, now cut off, hooks it outside to Pemberton, fumbles and regains control. 15 to shoot. Here's Markayla Johnson on the drive at the free throw line, lobs it outside to Scott. 8 on the shot clock, just over a minute to play first quarter. Scott weaving to the basket. Oh, a little spin move as she gets to the hoop. Count it and put her on the line. That was a nice move. Lori Fogelman by Talia Scott to make something out of not a whole lot.
I don't think I've ever seen somebody put the ball on the floor and weave their way through players, almost like a figure 8 in a way. But then to finish at the rim like that, that was an amazing play. And she knocks down the free throw, completes that the conventional three-point play, and Baylor up 24-5, under a minute to play.
Talia Scott now with 8 first quarter points, under a minute to go. As Lori said, Baylor up 24-5. Here's a three by Kelsey that's knocked down. She had just enough room to knock that down, and it's 24-8. Baylor back the other way. Here is Dong on the right wing, faking a three, driving inside, a lot of contact, and a whistle, and a foul is called on Dong. Let me lower that shoulder just a bit. That's her first, and the fourth on the Bears. If Baylor does foul again here, would put Lindenwood on the free throw line. Lindenwood is on an 8-3 burst here as they kind of found their footing. Baylor kept them off the scoreboard for the first 6 minutes and 16 seconds of this ball game. Here's Kelsey finding an open player down low. Brigham cutting to the basket. Now she, as she's cut off, swings it outside, and now the driving layup attempt by Wernley is no good, but she earns a trip to the line as she draws the foul on Kyla Abraham, and that is Kyla's 5th. And it sends Wernley to the line. Wernley 1 for 2 at the stripe in their earlier win. She's 1 for 2 today, so 2 for 4 on the young season. First free throw here is short. Front rimmed it, and she'll get one more. Bears can play for the last shot, assuming they get a rebound here, or a made shot by Wernley. And the second is good. So it's 24-9 Baylor, and the Bears can play for the last shot. 23 seconds remaining here in quarter number 1. Playing with Scott, Pemberton, Abraham, Markayla Johnson, and Yuting Dong. 13 seconds remaining. Here's Scott swinging it to Pemberton. Now left side to Markayla Johnson. Back to Scott around an Abraham screen. She'll pop from the top of the key and miss. Fight for the rebound beneath the basket. Pemberton chases it down. 3 seconds. 2 seconds. She's going to have to force it up, but she makes an extra pass, and that's how the first quarter draws to a close. She was double teamed there on the wing and really just got caught without a lot of options there after she chased down the offensive rebound there, and that's the way the first quarter draws to a close. Bears score the game's first 16 points, and they lead 24-9 at the end of 1. We are brought to you by Pepsi. Hey, Bear fans, the basketball season, this basketball season, I should say, make Pepsi your go-to game day drink because it's the only drink for basketball watching. Pepsi, that's what I like, proud partner of Baylor Athletics. 24-9 Bears at the end of 1 on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
TFNB Your Bank for Life is the official local bank of Baylor Athletics. Find out why more Central Texas are making TFNB their bank for life. Sign up for our Edge checking and savings accounts to earn interest or cash back. With 5 convenient locations and an award-winning mobile app, banking has never been easier. TFNB Your Bank for Life. Member FDIC.
Baylor Nation rolls along with Allen Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram. Start with award-winning service and factory-trained techs. Then shop our new and used lineup from cars, trucks to SUVs, all makes and models. Running a business? We're your Central Texas headquarters for ProMaster vans, cab, and chassis and work trucks. For power and comfort, test drive the Ram 1500, the Motor Trend Truck of the Year winner again. Allen Samuels in Waco, proud partner of Baylor Athletics.
Come by, let's be friends.
You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Home opener of Foster Pavilion, a 24-9 Baylor lead. Bears 9 of 17 from the field, 4 of 9 from beyond the arc. They hold Lindenwood to just 2 made field goals on 10 shots. Both of the made shots were 3-pointers, 3 of 6 from the free throw line. Now, Lori, Baylor did allow Lindenwood a little burst there at the end of the first quarter, but obviously got off to such a great start in this game. Let's see if they can pick that pace right back up to start the second quarter.
And those were really important minutes for Baylor's bench players to come in. And it's going to take a while, again, to gel. Those are the most significant minutes they've had since playing against West Texas A&M. But, that's what these games are for, to be able to build your confidence, to give you more playing time, to be able to work back in to a lineup, and to have Coach Nikki feel confident in being able to play you. The way that Baylor started this game was just, they were on fire. And you're going to get that with the starters that Coach Nikki has. But again, it's just as important, though, to continue to get other players in and get that all-important playing time and build confidence.
In a perfect world, you'd get to see a lot of Kira Pemberton, Markayla Johnson, Yuting Dong get some real action today. I don't think you couldn't just leave them in to let them play on Monday. That wasn't the kind of game it was.
That's right.
It was not a normal opening game by any stretch. This is a little more normal opener at home, certainly, and so hopefully you can play that way and really get some good productivity out of it.
Yeah, so you feel free to make some mistakes. Again, you'll learn from those, but I tell you, Kara Pemberton pulling down that rebound and almost giving Baylor another shot at the basket at the end of the first quarter. I mean, that was a great rebound. I don't know how she came down with it. That's a very athletic play from that transfer, young lady from North Dakota.
Lindenwood has the ball to start the second quarter. It's Brigham driving to the baseline and airballing a mid-range jumper. Rebound gathered in on the opposite side of the basket by Bella Fauntleroy. She gives it off to Jana Van Guyt. Make the Bears have their original starters on the floor. Lindenwood does as well. Bella Fauntleroy cuts to the basket. Misses the shot from the left block, but showing a trip to the free throw line. Bella Fauntleroy, the first quarter star with 10 points, but Talia Scott not far behind at 8.
What a pass inside from Talia Scott into Bella Fauntleroy. Just burst open right underneath the basket. Why did she miss that shot? Because she was fouled. Just knocked the shot off. She almost had that three-point play, but has an opportunity to earn a couple from the free throw line.
First free throw is perfect. She got one more coming. Bella on Monday did not attempt a free throw against Duke. It's her first of the season here. I'd like to see her get back to her old form. She was over 70% free throw shooting her freshman and sophomore year. Fell below 60% last year, but good early return here. Just 2 free throws, but she is 2 for 2. And the Baylor lead is 17 at 26-9. Make that 15. Scoff drives inside, finds a lane, and lays it in. It's 26-11. Baylor with the ball in the lead. Here's Van Guytenbeek on the drive. Turns, stops, swings it up top to Bugs. Further outside to Bella Fauntleroy, right wing. Bounces it back to Bugs beneath the basket. Gets in close. Can't quite get the roll to fall in. And as the rebound hits the floor, it's knocked out of bounds by Lindenwood, staying with Baylor. Valerie Norwood returning for the Lions in place of Gracie Wornley. Has 2 points, a rebound, and an assist in the early going. Baylor's inbounds knocked out of bounds. They're trying to hit Scott in the corner, it looks like, but knocked out of bounds. Baylor will play it back in from the opposite side of the basket along the baseline. Janet kicks it into the opposite corner. She does find Scott, who knocks down the three. You just tried it. It's like driving a car on the different side of the road, right? They just switch to the other side, and Talia Scott knocks down the three. She's got 11 points. Fauntleroy has 12, combining for 23 of Baylor's 29 points. Here's a pass to Scoff on the pick and roll. She kicks it back out to Brigham, whose three is too strong. Coffey, their leading rebounder, fights in a crowd for the offensive rebound, but then Janet tips it away and steals it. Yeah, back the other way. She weaves to the right side of the arc. Now swings it up top to Bella Fauntleroy, looking into the post. Instead spins it high left to Bugs. Further left side to Scott. She turns, faces the basket, unloads a three, and she's fouled. Free throws are coming, 3 of them to be precise, as Talia Scott is fouled by Ellie Brigham. That's Brigham's first, the team's first in the second quarter. Talia Scott, 8 of 10 from the free throw line against Duke, and Coach Nick in her pregame intermedia this week said, I think Talia Scott's the kind of player who can very much take this. She says, hey, could have used those 2 free throws at the end of the game, and Talia Scott, the type of player, kind of takes that to heart as the first free throw rattles home. One more coming, but still, it was a good game from the free throw line for Baylor overall. 15 of 20, they hit 15 of their first 18 against Duke, and obviously all of them very important in that game that was tight throughout. Second free throw is good by Scott. She's got one more coming, fouled in three-point land by Brigham. Scott with 13 points and now with 14 points. Great first half for her and for Fauntleroy, and Baylor's lead is 21 at 32-11. This is Baylor's biggest lead of the afternoon. There is Scoff, high right side, just swallowed up by Bucks, who knocks the ball away, and Bucks trying to chase after the loose ball is called for the foul. That's her second. Her second. The team's first, and we'll see Kyla Abraham check back in, and may not see much of Bugs the remainder of the first half. Foul coming with 8:14 to play here in this second quarter. So a foul near the end of the first quarter called on Bugs, and then one here to start the second, or at least nearly going to the second quarter. Lindenwood plays it back in. Brenneman takes the handoff from Kelsey high on the right side. Right hand dribble, directs traffic, bounces it one step ahead to Kelsey. She heaves it further out left side to Scoff. Kind of wanted a three, but she was too well defended. Kicks it into the corner. Coffey with a contested three, and it's good. That is the third three-pointer made by Lindenwood. 3 of their 4 made field goals on the game have been from downtown. Still, Baylor leads by 18. 2 minutes and 15 seconds into the second quarter. It's Bella Fauntleroy kicking it to Scott. She's got a good look. She likes that spot. That almost looks automatic here in the early going when she's open and she's there on the right perimeter, kind of angled off to the left-hand side. Why not? And now a whistle and a foul called on the Bears as they get back on defense. Kyla Abraham too aggressive, setting up shot on the post. It's her second foul, and the team's second.
Number 3, Grayson Warner.
Right now, looks like Abraham will stay in. Well, maybe not. Let's see Markayla Johnson making her way over. By the way, Talia Scott with 3 pointers here in the early going. At the free throw line, it's Scott, so that was a shooting foul on Abraham. And the first free throw by Scott is good. She's got one more coming there, 4 of 7 from the stripe. Hey, Laura, I got to mention as we're watching these free throws, thinking back to Baylor's opener, one of the Trooper Awards has to go to Ella Brow in Paris. Now, Ella's dealing with a foot injury. I'm not sure how long she's going to be out, but it's not going to be a quick recovery. But she was there in Paris and navigated all those streets on a scooter. She worked hard, and I'm glad she was able to enjoy Paris with her teammates, and saw a lot of people holding doors and everything for her as Baylor's going to go to. And Baylor's just drawn a foul at the other end, but nothing like being injured when you get to make a trip to Paris, but still making the most of it.
You know, that she is one of those players who is just always upbeat, and I think uplifts her team so much. And I think they just enjoyed having her around to continue to support the team in any way that she could.
Bella Fauntleroy at the free throw line following the Brigham foul. Her first free throw is good. Baylor is 8 of 9 from the line here in the early going. 36-16 Baylor lead.
Yeah, critical free throws. You know, Baylor wasn't as good as they needed to be last year from the free throw line, and Bella knocks down her. She's perfect from the line today. And Baylor the free throw line.
Dom will check in on the next dead ball for the Bears. Here is Gracie Worley, a running point with 3 minutes gone here in the second quarter for Lindenwood. Kicks it to Scoff, looks down low for Coffee. A turnaround jumper rattles out. She chases down the offensive rebound, though. A lot of contact, no whistle. And a whistle, and it's going to be Baylor's basketball as the pass to the sideline hit a player who was actually standing on the sideline. So that's a turnover, giving it back to the Bears. Boy, I tell you what, it sure looked like an offensive foul beneath the basket that wasn't called.
Yeah, Janet Van Dyke was flat on her back inside the paint.
37-16, Baylor with the ball and a 21-point lead. As Bella Fauntleroy fakes a handoff to Markayla Johnson, drives right to the basket, and finishes with the lifting.
That again is spacing. That's all that is, and the ability to bust somebody open, and Bella Fauntleroy to recognize that, and it just opened up like the Red Sea. She had an easy basket.
Here's Worley wanting to bang her way inside on Van Geitenbeek, who stays with her stride for his stride. Oh, and now a blocking foul called on Bella Fauntleroy. Let's trying to set her feet. Certainly there was a shoulder by Coffee, knocked her down. And tell you what, looking at the replay, it sure looked like an offensive foul. Maybe the feet weren't quite set, but that's when you see Bella get 9 times out of 10 called against the offensive player.
Well, you wonder about who impeded whom at that time. And those are the kinds of plays that Bella just excels at on the defensive end.
Inbound to Scoff. She hits a Cuddy Nielsen with a baseline drive there, and with a back cutter, she's in the basket. And Guting Dong fouls her on her way to the hoop. Free throws coming for Alyssa Nielsen, who had 15 points off the bench for Lindenwood. Here's Kira Pemberton checking back in for Guting Dong. Fell on Dong there.
That's her second,
yeah.
along with Bugs and Abraham, who both have 2 fouls before halftime.
First free throw by Nielsen is good, and with 4 Baylor fouls here, that means Lindenwood will be shooting the penalty for the final 6:18 of the first half. It's all Baylor in this game, but no, these guys can nitpick a little bit. Second free throw is good. She hits them both. I don't think you nitpick a win over 7th-ranked Duke. You can nitpick in games like this, the areas you really want to improve here. Here is Markayla Johnson, seen lane to the basket, driving inside and just missing with the left hand, and being called for an offensive foul to boot. A little bit aggressive drive there by Markayla Johnson. She's in for her first foul. That's the 5th on the Bears.
I love how she puts the ball on the floor and attacks, but you're right, the player who's able to step inside, set their feet, and you only have a split second sometimes to recognize that, but I like the aggression.
Baylor has outscored Lindenwood 15-9 here in the second quarter after outscoring them 24-9 in the first. 4 minutes gone, second quarter. Here's Worley with a head fake, now drives to the basket, stumbles in a crowd, loses the basketball, picked up by Nielsen. She gives it off to Scoff. Now to Kelsey, gets it back with 3 on the shot clock. Scoff will force a step back 3 and miss it wide to the left. That's a shot clock violation. She chased down the long rebound, but did not draw iron before the clock hit 0. So it's Baylor basketball.
All about KJ being long out there at the top of the perimeter. She made Scoff have to. Is that Scoff who took the 3?
Yes.
It was okay. Scoff take the 3. Well, actually, she was ready to take the 3. KJ denied that. They had to reset the ball. Took some valuable time off the clock. And then that last one, she just totally missed that because, again, KJ's late.
Jana Van Geitenbeek has a 3-pointer blocked after getting the handoff from KJ. KJ chases the loose ball down. 10 to shoot for the Bears. They'll swing it around the perimeter. Markayla Johnson, 8 to shoot. Johnson with the right-hand dribble around to KJ's screen, and a moving screen is called on KJ. That's Johnson's first. And we'll go back to Lindenwood. A little sloppy stretch here. Let's see if the Bears can pick it back up like they did to start the game when they opened up a 16-0 lead. Halfway through the second quarter, here's Alicia Jones, seen lane to the basket, but Baylor forces her off the direct path, and she misses the follow-away runner. However, the rebound is last touched by the Bears, and so it's going to stay with Lindenwood. See some of the Baylor men here at the game along the baseline. They play Washington tonight at 7:30. It's a day-night doubleheader for the Baylor women and the Baylor men. You can hear that game with the voice of the Bears, John Morris, and Pat Mooney on our flagship station, ESPN Central Texas, pregame tonight starting at 7. Lindenwood plays it in. It is Kelsey trying to hand it off to Nielsen, but she is denied. Gives it off to Scoff right side. Scoff fakes a three, drives inside, and misses the runner. Contested there at the rim by Johnson and Fauntleroy. Baylor back the other way. It is Jana Van Geitenbeek accelerating to the front court, finding Kirsten Johnson for a jumper from the top of the key that is no good. And then Kira Pemberton, a little too aggressive, chasing after a rebound. Lindenwood had it secured, but she forced the issue and a foul call. Haven't seen the official call yet, but I believe that is the case. Yes, it's a foul on Kira Pemberton. Her second, bringing us to our second quarter timeout. 2025-26 women's basketball season is presented by Central National Bank, proudly serving Central Texans in Waco, Temple, and Austin. Make different. Think Central National Bank. Baylor 39, Lindenwood 18, 4:38 to play in the first half here on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Bluebonnet Health Services has been caring for Central Texans since 2004. Bluebonnet is locally owned and operated, which allows them the most interaction with patients each and every day, promoting compassionate care and integrity. They provide hands-on attention to their patients through a staff with years of experience. Bluebonnet Health Services provides home health care, supportive care, and hospice. Remember, it's your health, your choice. Ask your doctor for Bluebonnet Health Services.
There's nothing like a Baylor home game, and First Central Credit Union wants to send you.
Hi, this is Jo Betsy Tyler with First Central. We're giving away a pair of Baylor football tickets for every home game this season. It's our way of celebrating the fans and families who make Central Texas great.
Enter now at firstcentralcu.com/football. One winner drawn each week.
First Central Credit Union. Everything we do for you.
No purchase necessary to enter.
You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Play in the first half here in the home opener. Foster Pavilion. Good to be back here for the friendly confines along the Brazos River. But Lori, Baylor made themselves right at home to start this game. 16-0 burst open up. They get Lindenwood off the board for the first 6 minutes and 16 seconds. It feels like maybe they got a little bit sloppy since then. You look, Baylor's gone over 2 minutes without a point. Just some stretches where they haven't looked at their best.
When you get into foul trouble, and then you have to start substituting. And, Baylor's just not used to that yet. The lights are on, and people have played in rotations with each other during scrimmages, and maybe going against the dream team. The lights are on, and you come out here, you're trying to think too much. And Lindenwood's a scrappy little team, and they don't sit back in the zone. They zone on very, very tough man-to-man defense, and it causes some issues for Baylor as Baylor tries to find their rhythm again into the season. You have to remember it's November, and by the time you enter the end of December, get into January, February, March, you can pretty much play like the back of your hand. Right now, we're seeing this discombobulation out there.
But also, we've seen some different lineups here in this game. Certainly some good minutes for players you would expect. Leah Scott, Bella Fauntleroy, Jana Van Geitenbeek. But you look, Kira Pemberton has played 4 minutes. She's out there on the floor. Markayla Johnson, 9 minutes, just her second game at the collegiate level. 5 minutes for Yuting Dong. So Coach Nikki giving some players some chances to play more here. And Kaylin Nelms getting her first action of this season. Last year's lone true freshman did not play in the Duke game, but she is out there now here in the late second quarter.
You have Little Paige Bugs back out there now, who's playing with 2 fouls. It just really hasn't been able to find a rhythm herself.
First free throw gets the bounce out of the timeout there for Lindenwood. That is Nielsen at the stripe, Alyssa Nielsen. She's got one more coming. And that also is good. Pemberton plays it into Scott. They're out there with Nelms, Bugs, and Markayla Johnson. Lindenwood defensively with Scoff, Warnley, Jones, Nielsen, and McCarn. McCarn providing some height in the post. There's a pass to Markayla Johnson, top of the arc, puts it on the floor, wants to drive inside, out of control, jumps in the air, and is bailed out by a foul call. That will go against Scott.
On the lines, number 3, Gracie Martin. Her first personal.
Beg your pardon. That is Gracie Martin.
Number 21,
Her first and the team's third since Johnson to the free throw line, where she is 1 for 2 on the afternoon. First one is up, and it is good. It almost looks, Lori, like, here these first few, and this is understandable as a freshman, gets the ball almost like excited. What do I do with it? Does it have that look to you?
Yes.
Yeah. But she was able to draw the foul call there, hits the first free throw, and knocks down the second as well. Baylor ahead by 21, 41-20, Lori.
But when that happens, and you get to the free throw line, you knock them both down.
Now a floating baseline jumper quickly is good by Alicia Jones at the other end.
And you also have to get back up defense quickly after you knocked down 2 shots.
4 minutes to play here in the second quarter. A runner, no, but a foul. Talia Scott will go to the line. She was forcing the issue at the other end. Talia Scott will foul her second team's fourth. Now the Bears will be shooting the penalty for the final 4 minutes. Baylor good at the free throw line today, 11 of 12 from the strike. As Talia Scott goes back to the line, she's 4 for 4, now 5 for 5. 18 first half points for Talia Scott, 5 of 8 shooting, 3 of 4 from downtown, and 5 of 5 from the free throw line, and make that 6 of 6.
I like it a lot better when we can knock down
Entering the
free
game
throws.
for
So the last
Lindenwood,
thing
number
we have
12,
to hear
Brooks
is,
Coffee.
I think you should work on your free throws.
Yes.
And you know that they do, but this is a team that, I think if the way that Scott was so proficient from the free throw line, I think that is something that can be contagious for the rest of the team.
Here's a cutter to the basket by Lindenwood. It is Coffee missing the contested runner. Scott comes out of there after the Bears can grab the rebound. Scott with a fake, and she throws it a little too far for Darian.
Lindenwood
Slices by her out of bounds. That's a Baylor turnover. Baylor has outscored Lindenwood off of turnovers, 13-1. They forced 9, giving it up to him 7 times. Nearly get another one, but Scoff's able to corral the pass, throws cross court to Wortley. Catch and shoot on the 3 is perfect. Gracie Wortley knocks down her first 3-point basket. She has 5 points, tied for the Lindenwood team lead, and the Baylor lead is 18. Now, Scoff cuts in front of a pass from Scott to Pemberton and knocks it out of bounds. She hit it too far over towards the left sideline to get a chance to chase it down and go for a layup. So Baylor will maintain possession with 20 seconds to shoot. Now Pemberton has the ball knocked away and out of bounds. I think in the second quarter, Laura, you look, Baylor has actually outscored them 19-16, but it just feels like Lindenwood's been a little bit the aggressor, and that's Baylor's capable of far more.
I think Baylor's playing a little bit back on its heels right now.
And again, you got some players who have been out there a lot. Here is Bugs on the drive in a crowd, picks up the dribble, unloads it outside to Scott with Kidd on the shot clock. Scott around an Elm screen, now dribbles for a step back 3. Left side, it floats off the back iron, no, and the rebound grabbed by Coffee. Outlet ahead to McCarn, ahead of the crowd. Baylor gets back defensively, and she misses the turnaround. Good recovery there by Kaylin Nelms just to get a hand up in the air and force that miss.
That's right, and Nelms didn't feel like she had to get up and contest it so hard. Whoa, speaking of contested shots, Kaylin Nelms finishes one.
Good rim running there by Kaylin Nelms. She got the defensive stop on a rim run at one end, and they got the bucket on a rim run at the other.
That's right, defense leading to offense, and both from Kaylin Nelms.
2:28 to play first half. Baylor with a 20-point edge at 45-25. Here's Wortley firing down low to McCarn, and she is bodied from behind. The whistle will go against Kaylin Nelms. That is Nelms' first foul. The Bears are already over the limit. That will send McCarn to the line. McCarn, a 6'4" freshman, is 2 for 4 from the line this season. Bella Fauntleroy has had a fantastic offensive first half for the Bears. Will check back in as the first free throw is off target. One more coming here for McCarn. Bella Fauntleroy, 16 first half points. Second free throw also no good. She missed them both. But Coffee grabs the offensive rebound, misses the turnaround jumper. McCarn and Pemberton fight for the rebound. A jump ball is called. Possession arrow will go Baylor's way.
For the Lions, number 33.
Down to 2:50 to play here in the first quarter.
And returning to the floor for your Bears, number 22, Bella Bottle.
Baylor's outscored Lindenwood 21-16, but that's after outscoring them 24-9 in the first quarter. Bugs into the front court for the Bears. Gives it off to Fauntleroy, left side of the arc. She'll swing it around the arc to Nels, further outside, right side to Markayla Johnson on the drive. Now stops, pops, and has her pull-up jumper rattle out. Rebound is grabbed by Kelsey. Under 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Coffee has it for Lindenwood, top of the arc, now to Kelsey. She turns, fronts the basket, puts it on the floor, kicks it over to Coffee, right side on the arc. She looks down low, instead fires further outside to Jones. Jones wants to drive, knifes into the paint, now hangs and misses the pull-up jumper from 10 feet away. Bella Fauntleroy grabs the contested rebound, gives it off to Talia Scott. She makes a hesitation move in the paint, skips to the basket and finishes with the right hand. Nice play by Talia Scott, 21 first half points for her. Now Scoff with a minute 15 to play in the opening half of basketball, determined to force up a shot, trying to get around Bugs, who stood her ground. She missed. Johnson with the rebound and has her pass angling to the right wing stolen as Jones cuts in front of it and intercepts. Hands it back the other way. Now Jones has it again on the right arc. Under a minute to play here in the first half. Lindenwood with the ball. Baylor with a 22-point first half lead. Here is Jones around a screen, sees a clear path to the basket, and even as Baylor closes in, she lays it in to cut the Baylor lead back to 20. We're down to 38 seconds to play in the first half, 12 seconds between the clocks. Scott cut off at the free throw line, kicks it out to Nels. In the corner to Markayla Johnson, who drives the baseline and draws a blocking foul on Lindenwood's Alicia Jones. That's Jones' first, the team's fifth, and it's going to send Markayla Johnson to the free throw line as both coaches make substitutions for the final 30 seconds. Nelms is out, as is Bugs. Janavan Guyton and Kirsten Johnson are back in. Brigham returns for Lindenwood. Markayla Johnson at the free throw line. First one is up and that one spins out. One more coming. That's the second miss by the Bears here in the first half from the line in 15 attempts. One more coming for Markayla. She has here in this first half as she knocks down that free throw. She has 4 first half points, all of them coming from the free throw line. Lindenwood can't quite play for the last shot. They effectively can. Just a few tenths of a second between the clocks as we're down to 15 seconds to go here. It's Brigham near midcourt. Markayla Johnson guarding her. She tries to bounce it to Kelsey and does. Top of the arc. Harassed by KJ. Down to 8 seconds to play first half. Here's Brigham on the drive. Kicking in the corner. Norwood dribbles away from the defender and knocks down a long 2. Baylor plays it in as the first half clock hits 0. 20 minutes in the books here at Foster Pavilion in the season opener with our score. Baylor 48, Lindenwood 29. Straight ahead here on the Nissan Halftime Report. We'll take a look at first half trends, give you stats, scores, and more. That's all on the way from Foster Pavilion, where the Bears lead 48-29 on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Today we have 2 very special guests on our program. Introducing Lem and Lime.
Hello.
For Starry Lemon Lime Soda.
Thanks for having us.
What is Starry Lemon Lime Soda?
It's a crisp, clear burst of lemon lime flavor, and it's caffeine-free.
Between us, one of you must be a little more important to Starry than the other. Who is it?
We're both important.
So it could just as easily be Starry Lime Lemon Soda.
No, that doesn't sound right. Oh, I like it. So you saying hip-hop could be hop-hip?
Works for me.
Starry Lemon Lime Soda. Starry hits different.
Come see why Green Eye Associates is voted best in Waco year after year. Enjoy exceptional service and care from Dr. Leanne Green alongside her dedicated optometrist and staff. Receive trustworthy insights on your eye health. Enjoy the impressive variety of contacts and eyewear and work with the most experienced optical team in Waco. Don't miss the new state-of-the-art dry eye therapies that rejuvenate the eyes and face with safe, non-invasive treatments to restore comfort and quality of life. Green Eye Associates, official optometrist of Baylor Athletics.
The Toyota Trucks Game Day sales event is on, and there's no one key to victory. You need strength. You need power. You need agility. You need a team that shows up ready to win. And Toyota Trucks, Yeah, they bring the full roster. The Toyota Tundra and Tacoma are built for it all. With available bed-mounted power outlets, massive towing capability, and a cabin fit for your crew, Toyota Tundra and Tacoma don't just show up to game day, they dominate it. Kick off the season with big savings during the Toyota Trucks Game Day sales event. But hurry, these deals won't last forever.
Toyota is a proud partner of Baylor Athletics. Wear green, haul gold in a new Tundra or Tacoma. Built to take you wherever the road leads, on game day and beyond. Visit your local Toyota dealer today.
Toyota, let's go places. See packages and options at toyota.com for feature available.
You're listening to live coverage of Baylor women's basketball. Now, it's time for the Nissan Halftime Show, brought to you by Central National Bank, proud season sponsor of Baylor women's basketball. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, championship partner of Baylor Athletics. Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance online to find a local agent today. Nissan, innovation that excites. Libman, America's trusted brand name in cleaning. Premier ER and Urgent Care. Feel better now. Stay tuned as we break down the first half. Check in on scores and more. All coming up on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
It's the home opener for the 16th ranked Baylor Bears, and they lead Lindenwood from the Ohio Valley Conference by a 19-point edge, 48-29. At intermission. Alongside Lori Fogelman, I'm Derek Smith, Bob Baker, our courtside engineer, Cameron Savoy, our producer. Let's take a look now at first half stats. Baylor scored the game's first 16 points. Lindenwood did not dent the scoreboard until there were 3 minutes and 44 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Baylor scored 24 points in each quarter, outscoring them 24-9 in the first to 24-20 in the second. Team stats, Baylor over 50% from the field, 14 of 27. Lindenwood 30%, 8 of 27. They are 4 of 10 from beyond the arc. Baylor hot from downtown, 6 of 13. That's 46%. The Lions 9 of 14 from the free throw line. That's a 64% conversion rate. Baylor very good at the line, 88%, 14 of 16. Lindenwood has 9 turnovers to Baylor's 8, but Baylor's been more productive off of them, a 13-6 edge on points over turnovers. Baylor with a 19-12 edge on the glass as well, and a 7-0 lead in second chance points. Baylor with 7 assists on 14 made field goals. Lindenwood with 5 of 8. No one in double figures for the Lions. 5 points apiece for Maya Scoff and for Gracie Wernley to lead the Lions. A very balanced effort. Alicia Jones, the only player with more than one made field goal for the Lindenwood Lions. They are led by Breanne Coffey with 4 rebounds and 2 assists, Amaya Scoff. For the Bears, really a blistering start for Talia Scott and Bella Fauntleroy. Talia Scott, 21 points on 6 of 10 shooting, 3 of 5 from beyond the arc, and 6 of 6 from the free throw line to go along with 2 boards and 2 assists. 16 points for Bella Fauntleroy, 5 of 7 from the field, 2 of 4 beyond the arc, 4 rebounds and an assist. They combined to score 37 of Baylor's 48 points. After that, it is 4 points for true freshman Markayla Johnson. She's taken 1 field goal, made 4 of her 6 free throws. After that, Kirsten Johnson with 3 points, 2 rebounds, 2 points apiece for Dariana Little-Page Buggs and Kaylin Nelms. Dong, Pemberton, Abraham, and Van Geitenbeek played but did not score. Jana Van Geitenbeek leads the Bears with 3 assists. Those are your first half stats. It adds up to a Baylor 48-29 intermission lead over Lindenwood as we roll on the First Central Credit Union. I'm getting ahead of myself. This is the Nissan Halftime Report, Lori, and coming up next, she'll have a look at other scores around the nation and throughout the Big 12 when we come back after this. 48-29 Bears at intermission on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Fox Sports Radio, 93.9 K230 CK and KRMX HD3 Waco.
Want to be the energy our Bears need? Go gold with Baylor Athletics this season and be the gold factor across each of our sports. Wear exclusive Go Gold apparel from the Baylor Bookstore and the Spirit Shop at upcoming Go Gold dates. Stay up to date on all your golden opportunities to create an electric home atmosphere by visiting BaylorBears.com/Go Gold. Sic 'em Bears.
Hellberg Barbecue is a family-owned business started here in Waco, Texas, and proud to serve the local area. They love to cater all kinds of events, big and small. Serving Baylor and its families is one of their favorite things, and they even ship barbecue nationwide. Check them out while here in Waco or online and support one of Waco's local barbecue restaurants, Hellberg Barbecue. Salt, pepper, and a whole lot of prayer.
Hi, I'm Jim Turner at Jim Turner Chevrolet in McGregor. As we celebrate our 10th year anniversary, I want to say thank you to all of our customers. Our dealership is more than a business to me. That's why when you come see us for a reliable new Chevy or award-winning service, we treat you like family. Come see our new collision center, now open to serve you even better for many years to come. Enjoy the game, then come see us at Jim Turner Chevrolet in McGregor. Together, let's drive.
Proudly serving Texas since 2007, Magnolia Realty is a full-service brokerage and a trusted neighbor, bridging expert industry knowledge with integrity and kindness. Known for their award-winning agents, Magnolia Realty understands the dynamics of making the real estate journey your own and the importance of trust from contract to close. You can find their local agents here in Waco and across the state, including in Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, San Antonio, and Temple. To get connected and learn more, visit magnoliarealty.com. Here's to home.
You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Out of the Ohio Valley Conference, 48-29 at halftime. You're listening to the Nissan Halftime Report. Nissan, innovation that excites. Let's take a look at other scores around women's basketball in the Big 12 Conference. There's one final today already as Iowa State defeats Sacred Heart 99-34. Audie Crooks had 21 points for the Cyclones. Three other games underway right now. 2:25 left to go in the fourth quarter, and Charlotte leading UCF by 3, 59-56 in Orlando. At halftime, Kansas leads Northwestern State 39-23, and Texas Tech has a 20-point lead, 50-30 over Texas State at half. Other games that are coming up later today, Arizona will welcome UC Irvine. Number 22, Oklahoma State will host Oral Roberts, just a few miles away from Tulsa and Stillwater, Oklahoma. And number 17, TCU, will play Sam Houston in Fort Worth. We'll also be keeping an eye on number 23, Baylor Volleyball, playing Utah. That game should be getting underway here momentarily, just down U Parks from us in the Farrell Center. Yesterday in the Big 12 Conference, Arizona State defeated Eastern Washington 73-58. BYU defeated San Jose State 70-51. Number 25, Kansas State, a squeaker over SMU in Dallas 46-44. And Houston with the win over UT San Antonio 52-48. Again, our score here at the half, it's the Baylor Bears up on the Lindenwood Lions 48-29 at half. You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Today we have two very special guests on our program, introducing Lem and Lime.
Hello.
For Starry Lemon Lime Soda.
Thanks for having us.
What is Starry Lemon Lime Soda?
It's a crisp, clear burst of lemon lime flavor, and it's caffeine-free.
Between us, one of you must be a little more important to Starry than the other. Who is it?
We're both important.
So it could just as easily be Starry Lime Lemon Soda.
No, that doesn't sound right.
Oh, I like it.
So you saying hip-hop could be hop-hip?
Works for me.
Starry Lemon Lime Soda. Starry hits different.
Bluebonnet Health Services has been caring for Central Texans since 2004. Bluebonnet is locally owned and operated, which allows them the most interaction with patients each and every day, promoting compassionate care and integrity. They provide hands-on attention to their patients through a staff with years of experience. Bluebonnet Health Services provides home health care, supportive care, and hospice. Remember, it's your health, your choice. Ask your doctor for Bluebonnet Health Services.
Are you tired of slow internet? Are data caps and throttling making it impossible to stream your favorite shows and movies? If so, it sounds like it's time to switch to Nextlink Internet. With Nextlink, there are no data caps and no throttling, just super fast internet speeds, up to 1 gig over wireless in some areas. Plus, Nextlink is an official partner of Baylor Athletics. So don't wait another minute. Give Nextlink a call or go online to nextlinkinternet.com to see what special offers are available to you. Blazing fast internet is just a click or phone call away. Sick 'em, Bears!
Kids can now join the Baylor Cub Club, the official kids club of Baylor Athletics, presented by Green Eye Associates. Fans 12 and under can register for the low cost of $25 and gain exclusive benefits and access to Baylor Athletics events. Members receive free admission to select events, exclusive giveaway access, and their own membership package. Register your Cub. Please visit BaylorBears.com/Cub Club. Sign your Cub up today.
You've been listening to the Nissan Halftime Show on the Baylor Sports Media Network. Brought to you by TFNB, the official local bank of Baylor Athletics. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, championship partner of Baylor Athletics. Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance online to find a local agent today. Nissan, innovation that excites. Lidman, America's trusted brand name in cleaning. Premier ER and Urgent Care. Feel better now. Stay tuned as we get set for the second half action with the Baylor Bears. As we rejoin Derek Smith live from the booth, bringing you the second half of action and more. All up on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Their locker room visit at intermission with head coach Nikki Collin. 48-29 lead as we get ready to start the third quarter. Good first half of action for offensively for the Bears, particularly Talia Scott and Bella Fauntleroy, who combined for 37 of Baylor's 48 first half points. Quick look ahead for the Bears before we get you ready for the third quarter. This week, Baylor is off until Friday when they take to the road for their first true road game. They're going to play at UNLV. So a tip-off from Las Vegas, Nevada on Friday night at 8 o'clock Central Texas time. We will be on the air at 7:30, and then they're back at home a week from today against Lemoyne. That is a 2 p.m. tip. So that's what's ahead this week, but our attention gets reverted back to the second half of action here where, Lori, I think, you look 48-29. The Bears are comfortably in command. You have good games. Talia Scott, 21 points. Bella Fauntleroy, 16 points. But, basically Lindenwood from the end of the first quarter to halftime played even with the Bears. Now, different lineups. Again, we saw Coach Nikki really mixing things up, but let's see if the Bears can kind of pick it back up and put even a little more space between themselves and the Lions.
Sure, they were very very crisp opening this game, but that is unsurprising considering the veteran presence that you have out there. But once you get into a little foul trouble and you start mixing and matching, especially here in the early going when everybody's still trying to figure out things, it can be a little disjointed at some time. But when you look at it, Baylor jumped down to an 18-0 lead in this game and did manage to extend even during those uncomfortable periods in the second quarter when you had a lot of different players coming in and out. They still extended the lead by one. But again, I think the good thing is you've got halftime. Nikki was able to take them in and say, here are some things that we can do to improve and some places where we can get better. I tell you who you should look for is somebody like Dariana Littlepage Buggs, and you know that Buggs will be resolute here in the second half, especially after that the first half that saw her pick up 2 fouls, and she was just never able to get in the flow of the game.
It's just 2 field goal attempts for her. This isn't a game where you need a ton of field goal attempts from her, but you want to see her kind of get in that rhythm here as Lindenwood plays it in to start the third quarter here. It is Nielsen, Brighamman, Kelsey, Coffey, and Wernley on the floor for the Lions. Brighamman sees a lane to the basket and takes it there to the rack for 2. So Lindenwood First 2 points of this second half. Now Baylor with the original starters on the floor. We'll look at the bucket for the first time. Talia Scott to Buggs out there with Fauntleroy, Van Geitenbeek, and KJ. Pass in the post, mid-post left side to Fauntleroy. And Lindenwood gets a hand on it, and a jump ball is called. Possession arrow will stay with the Bears with 15 seconds to shoot. They bounced it into Fauntleroy, mid-post left side, and Lindenwood just tied her up. I think that pass was really kind of set up for that to happen. That wasn't Bella's fault, as they're going to dry off the floor just a little bit. Saw that a few times in Paris. It was warm in there.
It was, and we saw slick spots, and we knew it was slick because both Baylor and Talia Scott. Let's just finish
there.
There
you go. Talia Scott takes the inbound pass out of the right corner and hits a three. She's got 24 points, matching her total Monday night against Duke. Now Lindenwood back the other way. It is Nielsen around a Kelsey screen, but KJ there to get back defensively and keep her from shooting the basketball. They give it back outside to Nielsen, bounces to Kelsey, single digits on the shot clock. Kelsey puts it on the floor, scoops it outside to Brigham with 6 to shoot. Her mid-range jumper is good. Pulls up from the right side and knocks it down. It is 51-33, Baylor with the basketball and the lead. Van Geitenbeek tries to change that, but Jana's three is off the mark in transition. Rebound batted, though, back out to the perimeter where Buggs chases it down. Baylor with another look at it. Here is Jana giving it to Buggs, top of the key, lobs it down low to Kirsten Johnson, controls the pass and scoops it in.
Nice pass on the entry from Dariana Little-Page. Buggs picking up an assist, and that was one that you had to place precisely where the long arms of KJ could go and get it.
Yeah, there's a pass cut there by Worley, and she takes the feed from the perimeter for the easy two. They've run that a few times where a player cuts to the basket from one angled side on the arc for an easy layup. Here's Baylor back the other way. Talia Scott knocked to the floor, but she maintains the dribble nicely. Baylor swings it around the horn to Van Geitenbeek, looking down low. Instead gives it up top to Kirsten Johnson. Bella now has it on the left side of the arc. Wants to drive, does, gets a step on her defender, but lays it up too hard with the right hand, and the rebound is grabbed by Kelsey. They're going to try to move it in transition is Lindenwood, but now Baylor gets back defensively. Brigham kicks it right side for a Nielsen shot-putted three that's no good. Rebound tipped around and controlled off the fingertips of Bella Fauntleroy, who gives it off to Talia Scott. Baylor with the ball on an 18-point lead, 53-35, and now a moving screen called against Kirsten Johnson as she tries to clear a path for Talia Scott. That's Kirsten Johnson's second foul, the first on the Bears in the third quarter. Lindenwood will play it in. It is Coffey giving it off to Brigham. Right-hand dribble by Brigham. Now to Worley, way up on the right sideline, pretty deep. She tries to fire down low, hits Brigham with the pass. She angles beneath the basket and hits a tough baseline on the baseline turnaround. Nice little shot there by Brigham, and it's 53-37. Baylor by 16. Van Geitenbeek on the drive, pulls up along the baseline, fires up top to Buggs. Outside to Talia, she likes that three from the left side. That one's off the mark though, and Kelsey collects the rebound. Back the other way, they've got the ball, Lindenwood does, trailing Baylor by 16 points. Maya Scoff is back in for the Lions. Buggs out there guarding her, she feeds Kelsey up top, spins, turns, fronts the basket again. A lot of contact there as players work through screens. Now here's Scoff to the free throw line. Shot clock at 8. She lobs it down low to Kelsey. Pushes down low to a cutting Coffey for the layup with the shot clock to Lindley. They have scored 10 of the third quarter's first 15 points. They're on a 6-0 run over the last minute 47 to cut the Baylor lead to 14.
Very patient with the basketball, waiting until that shot clock winds down.
Now Scott drives into a crowd, lost it, tries to feed it back outside, and there's no one there. That gives it back to Lindenwood. Sloppy start to this third quarter for Baylor. Their lead is cut to 14 points. Really, that's as close as it's been since the early portions of the game. Now, Baylor's still comfortably in front, but want to see play like they can. Here's Nielsen. Hits a cutting Scoff who slipped by Buggs. Baylor got back defensively, though, and forced the miss. She shorted that. Baylor with the rebound here. It's Buggs to Van Geitenbeek. Right corner to Bella Fauntleroy. Turns and lets it fly, and she hits a three. That pushes the lead back to 17 points, and that snaps a 6-0 Lindenwood run. 4 minutes gone here in this third quarter of action. It's Scoff swinging high on the left side. Nielsen has it. She's looking cross court. Instead decides to go the midway route and hits Kelsey at the top of the arc. Gives it off to Norwood, who just checked back in off the bench for Amy Eaton's team. Here is Nielsen trying a tough turnaround that spins out. Kelsey knocks the rebound back out towards the right side of the lane, where it's grabbed by Bella Fauntleroy. Bella Fauntleroy leads the team now with 7 rebounds. Johnson gives it off with a little pick and roll to Talia Scott. Scott feeds her on the drive. She lays it in. Nice collaboration.
That is a pretty shot. And you know, you don't have to set the screen. It almost wasn't a pick and roll. It was almost like a hesitation.
Yeah, that's a good point. Baylor's lead is back up to 19, where it was at halftime. Here's Norwood on the drive, and she really kind of leaned in as much to Jana as vice versa, but Jana called for the foul. And that brings us to our third quarter media time. That foul on Jana is her first and the team's second. The 2025-26 women's basketball season is presented by Central National Bank, proudly serving Central Texans in Waco, Temple, and Austin. Bank different, Bank Central, Central National Bank. Baylor 58, Lindenwood 39, 4:58 to play third quarter. And you're listening to Baylor Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
A bank in any town USA treats everyone like, well, anyone. At Central National Bank, we provide Central Texans with a different kind of banking. We believe in people over processes, listening over telling, and helping our customers over helping ourselves. Come to Central National Bank and experience the difference. Bank different, Bank Central. Central National Bank, member FDIC. Proud partner of Baylor Athletics.
Proudly serving Texas since 2007, Magnolia Realty is a full-service brokerage and a trusted neighbor, bridging expert industry knowledge with integrity and kindness. Their award-winning agents, Magnolia Realty understands the dynamics of making the real estate journey your own and the importance of trust from contract to close. You can find their local agents here in Waco and across the state, including in Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, San Antonio, and Temple. To get connected and learn more, visit magnoliarealty.com. Here's to home.
You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
It's a play on the musical and movie Wicked, which is a take on the Wizard of Oz, focused on the Wicked Witch of the West. That's about all I know about it. But these kids know the song. These kids know the song, and they are singing it loudly.
Derek, surely you know Defying Gravity.
I do not. I'm afraid to tell you.
Let me tell you, just about, I would say, 80% and almost 100% of the students behind us knew that song.
I know Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead. I know that song.
No, not from Wicked. No.
Okay, that's what I know about the Wizard of Oz. That we're not in Kansas anymore, but I don't know. It's based on the Wizard of Oz, but it's loosely. Is it loosely based, or is it when you say it's really based?
It's almost a reimagination.
Fair enough.
Now that is my opinion.
Okay, no, I trust your judgment.
It is wonderful, and it reminds me of the Eras promotion from a couple of years ago that Baylor Women's Basketball had with Taylor Swift, and it was so much fun. And the way you could hear everybody sing every single song that was played, that was the same way. That was a lot of fun too.
They weren't bad either. These kids behind us, they were not terrible at singing along. So good for them. And I appreciate them being here in our home opener too, making some noise behind us.
And that's why you see a lot of pink and green at this game today.
Yes.
Of the Wicked theme.
Bob Baker, a huge fan of the music. Bob, if there's anyone who knows musicals, it's the G-Man, Bob Baker. And don't check me up on that. Don't fact check that.
I have a feeling that of the three of us, I'm the only one who must be the big fan.
The first free throw out of the timeout by Norwood is good. What about the Follow the Yellow Brick Road? Is that a song or is that a chain? No, it's a song. But that's from the actual Wizard of Oz.
Man, I'm going to have to catch you up there.
Fair enough. One more free throw coming for Norwood. Fans want to miss to get cupcakes, and she obliges. Well, that gets them going here. Free cupcakes for the students there in the student section as Norwood misses both free throws.
And Dariana Little-Page Bugs defying gravity to pull down that rebound.
Oh, look at that, working that in, Lori. Very impressive. Here's Talia Scott on the drive at the other end. Kicks it back out to Van Geitenbeek with 9 on the shot clock. Baylor with the ball and a 19-point lead, I beg your pardon, as Jana tries to feed it to Abraham. It's knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Bears with just under 5 seconds remaining on the shot clock. She was trying a little slip pass there to Abraham and just couldn't collaborate, but Baylor will keep it. Jana on the baseline beneath the bucket, trying to get it in, has to throw it high to Bugs. Bugs puts it on the floor, tries a 3, and she hits it. Darian Little-Page Bugs with the shot clock winding, lets it fly and knocks it down. And the Baylor lead is north of 20 again at 61-39.
And a rhythm 3, just like Bella has hit in this game. That time for Bugs, she didn't have to think about it, put it up and drained that triple from outside with the shot clock winding down.
Here is McCarran with it at the other end for Lindenwood. Hits a cutting Norwood, driving to the bucket. Oh, she has her shot swallowed up by Bugs, who really just plucked it out of the air on the way up. Got her arms over there and smothered her. Under 4 minutes to play, third quarter. Baylor with it. Here is Bugs swinging to Yuting Dong, who's back in on the floor, along with Scott, Abraham, Van Geitenbeek, and Bugs. Abraham out beyond her range in the left corner, so she gives it up top to Bugs. Coming the other way, lost the ball on the drive. Oh, she was trying to set up to try a baseline jumper, but didn't quite have the handle on the dribble and lost it out of bounds. Coffey returns for Lindenwood, along with Wernley and Brigham. Baylor up 61-39 on an 8-0 run.
I think the ball got a little stuck on offense and some indecision with it, and it doesn't allow you to be able to make something happen, and Baylor ends up turning the basketball over.
Here's Coffey with it, trying to drive on Dong for the Bears. Hooks it down low to Scoff. Up top, hits Brigham, and she's open for a step-back 3 and splashes it in from the left wing.
What a second half she's had so far.
Well, she's in double figures now, the only Lion in double figures with 12. Talia Scott, though, answering quickly from the right baseline. She knocks down a long 2. She has 26 points on 8 of 13 shooting, and then she simply picks the pocket at the defensive end of Brigham, taking it away from her. Weaving into the front court, she's feeling it, but she leaves the off the dribble 3 short from the top of the arc. And here comes Lindenwood with the rebound. It's Scoff on the right side, giving it to Brigham, pushes it over left side to Wernley. Looking back for Brigham, gives it to her. Van Geitenbeek up to defend, 15 on the shot clock. 150 seconds to play in the third quarter. Markayla Johnson will return on the next dead ball. Meanwhile, for Lindenwood, Brigham gets loose down low for the layup.
Yeah, Jana Van Geitenbeek got stuck in or hung up in a screen, and again, just a clear path to the basket for Lindenwood. Baylor's done a really good job cutting that off, but that time just the screening action was just a little bit too tough to get over.
Here's Dong with the ball on the right side of the floor. Dribbles to the free throw line where her pull-up is too strong. Offensive rebound, Kyla Abraham. She puts it back up and in, but there's a whistle away from the ball, and a foul is called on a upset Dariana Little-Page Bugs. She is very upset with what just happened. Let's see if we can get a look at the replay there. As Abraham grabbed the offensive rebound, Bugs was called for a foul away from the ball. That's her third and the team's third. And obviously she was very displeased with what happened, and maybe we'll get a look at the replay and see what led to that. And now as Brigham crosses midcourt, she calls a Lindenwood timeout, their second called timeout, and we will take it. And so I want to say thanks to all of you watching on the Courtside Cam, brought to you by Nextlink, reliable high-speed internet for your home or business. All Bears in this win. Late third quarter, Baylor 63, Lindenwood 44. And you're listening to Baylor Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
TFNB Your Bank for Life is the official local bank of Baylor Athletics. Find out why more Central Texas are making TFNB their bank for life. Sign up for our Edge checking and savings accounts to earn interest or cash back. With 5 convenient locations and an award-winning mobile app, banking has never been easier. TFNB, your bank for life. Member FDIC.
Today we have two very special guests on our program. Introducing Lem and Lime.
Hello.
Lemon Lime Soda.
Thanks for having us.
What is Starry Lemon Lime Soda?
It's a crisp, clear burst of lemon lime flavor, and it's caffeine-free.
Between us, one of you must be a little more important to Starry than the other. Who is it?
We're both important.
So it could just as easily be Starry Lime Lemon Soda.
No, that doesn't sound right.
Oh, I like it.
So you saying hip-hop could be hop-hip?
Works for me.
Starry Lemon Lime Soda. Starry hits different.
You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Final two teams from the Ohio Valley Conference last year. They end up lead by 19 points. You know, credit Lindenwood after Baylor opened the game on a 16-0 burst. They've sort of hung in there. Baylor's lead has been as much as 23. It's dwindled to as few as 14 in the second half, but Lindenwood hasn't been able to get any closer. Still, Baylor opened the game strong and has basically been able to ride that early lead here for the last 30 minutes of game time, particularly behind strong offensive play from Talia Scott and Bella Fauntleroy, who have combined for 45 of Baylor's 63 points. Or put it this way, Lori, Bella and Talia have scored one more point than the entire Lindenwood Ball Club combined.
Wow. Well, here in the third quarter, Baylor is shooting almost 55% from the field. They're 50% from beyond the arc, but you look over on the other side, and Lindenwood is highly efficient with a lot of those backdoor cuts. They're 7 of 11 from the field, and that's almost 64%. And anybody can tell you that's not sustainable, but Baylor's been able to match them so far. But you know, you just gotta dig deep inside right now. It's a little bit. I think you see some frustration out there from Baylor again, and just to take a deep breath, and I think the timeout came at a really good time.
Baylor will take the floor out of the timeout with Van Geitenbeek, Johnson, Dong, Fauntleroy, and Abraham. Lindenwood will counter with Coffey, Wormley, Brigham, Kelsey, and Scoff. 1:58 to play third quarter. They get it into Brigham. They've got the basketball. Baylor has the 19-point lead, 63-44. Scoff tries to flip it down low and does to Coffey. Tries a tough follow away from the right baseline. No good. Fight for the rebound. Abraham had a hand on it, and it is Van Geitenbeek who chases it down.
Kyla good on defense that time. Not going up in the air, but just keeping her hands straight up.
Here's Johnson, Markayla Johnson with the basketball. They hit Abraham with a pass, gives it back to Van Geitenbeek, trying to get downhill. Kicks it out to Markayla, 10 to shoot. Back to Jana, steps into a three, left it short just a bit though, and the rebound is grabbed by Kelsey. 63-44, minute 15 to play here in this third quarter. Baylor with the lead, Lindenwood with the basketball. Scoff measures a three and knocks it down, a high arcing three from up top. Minute to play here in the third. It's 63-47 Baylor. Jana Van Geitenbeek with the right-hand dribble, spins it to Bella Fauntleroy, puts it on the floor, now drives in the paint, swings the elbows, fires back outside to Markayla Johnson, right side. She wants to drive and loses it in the crowd. It's stolen away by Kelsey. 45 seconds to play in the third. We're going to slow it down just a bit is Lindenwood as Brigham faces the basket. Jana with a handout. She gives it ahead to Kelsey. Abraham harassing her, gives it to Brigham, who corkscrews a tough three in there. They're back within 13 at 63-50. Baylor will play for the last shot of the third quarter. They've had some luck from beyond the arc today. They are 7 of 14 from downtown.
And Brigham has 14 points here in the third quarter. She is a perfect 6 of 6.
Here's Bella Fauntleroy. Firing ahead to Dong. We're down to 8 seconds to play in the third. Baylor playing for the last shot. Van Geitenbeek on the drive, kicks it in the corner. Here's a Bella three, too strong over everything. And Lindenwood will have to shot put a 80-foot shot down the floor. And it's way off the mark as the third quarter draws to an end. But that was a good quarter for Lindenwood. They close the third on an 8-0 run. And as such, they take They take the edge in that third quarter, outscoring Baylor 21-15. Still, Baylor leads by 13, though, at 63-50. Hey, Bears fans, this basketball season, make Pepsi your go-to game day drink because it's the only drink for basketball watching. Pepsi, that's what I like. Proud partner of Baylor Athletics. Bears by 13. We head to the fourth quarter here on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
See for yourself why Green Eye Associates is voted best in Waco year after year. Enjoy exceptional service and care from Dr. Leanne Green, along with her dedicated optometrists and staff. Receive trustworthy insights about your eye health, enjoy the impressive variety of contacts and eyewear, and work with the most experienced optical team in Waco. Don't miss the new state-of-the-art dry eye therapies that rejuvenate the eyes, face, and neck areas with safe, non-invasive treatments to restore comfort and quality of life. Visit greeneyeassociates.com. Green Eye Associates, official optometrist of Baylor Athletics.
Hey Baylor fans, game day experiences for the 2025 football season are on sale now. Fans can purchase exclusive experiences online, including on-field photos, sideline access during warm-ups, tunnel access during the team runout, an in-game radio booth experience, Voice of the Bears, a birthday bash, and much more. There is limited availability per game, so purchase your experience today at BaylorBears.com/group experiences to lock in your one-of-a-kind game day experience today.
You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
$63.50 in favor of the Bears. Talia Scott, 26 points. Bella Fauntleroy, 19 points for the Bears. Kirsten Johnson with 7. They have combined for 52. Baylor's 63 points. Meanwhile, Ellie Brighamon, I beg your pardon, for Lindenwood has 17 points, 14 of them coming in the third quarter. Or let's say if Baylor could just play a little more crisply, to use that word, because honestly, after that early lead, Lindenwood, they've just sort of let Lindenwood hang around there. Let's see if they have a little bit of that. We'll call it a killer instinct to just sort of see if you can put them away early in the fourth.
No, that's, again, one thing. Another thing I like about the quarter format is that you can just go, all right, let's just set aside that third quarter. We know we're going to go back and look at that in film. We're going to learn a lot from that. But let's remember where we are. We're in Foster Pavilion, and let's play a really crisp final 10 minutes. See if you can extend the lead and really get back into playing Baylor basketball and dominating here over the next 10 minutes.
Third quarter numbers, Baylor shooting 50% from the floor through the first 30 minutes, 20 of 40. Lindenwood not too far off, though, at 17 of 41. They're 7 of 14 from downtown. Baylor 9 of 21. Baylor 14 of 16 from the free throw line. So it's actually turned into a decent shooting game for both teams as we head to the fourth quarter. It'll be Lindenwood to start offensively. Brighamon, Scoff, Coffey, Kelsey, and Wernley. It's Scoff, guarded by Bella Fauntleroy, feeding it ahead to Brighamon, now to Kelsey. Kelsey puts it on the floor with KJ all over her, looking much taller than her 6'4" listed height. Now Wernley cuts to the basket, kicks it in the corner where an open Brooke Coffey misses a three off the back iron. Rebound batted around. Kelsey is fouled as she tries to lay it in. The Kirsten Johnson foul kept her from getting an easy two and makes her earn it from the free throw line. That's Johnson's third and the team's first here in the fourth quarter. Dariana Littlepage Bucks back in for the Bears in place of Yu-Ting Dong. Yu-Ting Dong will get a breather here. 0 for 2 from the floor in her first home game. Kelsey to the free throw line. Her first free throw of the afternoon is good. She's got one more coming. 63-51. And now Kelsey readies the second. And it too is good. You know, obviously Brighamon dominating the points for them. Pretty balanced after that. Scoff with 8, Wernley with 7, 5 for Coffey. So a lot of players in on the act for Lindenwood in a game Baylor leads by 11. Bella Fauntleroy tries to change that, but her 3 from the left edge spins out. Bugs fought for the rebound, but it is Brigham coming out of there with it. Ahead to Coffee. A bucket here would cut Baylor's lead to single digits for the first time since the first quarter. Wernley has it high on the left side. Talia Scott facing her. Gives it up to Brigham. Markayla Johnson guarding her, stays with her. Kelsey gets loose for an open three and knocks it down. She got lost in the crowd. I think Kirsten Johnson lost her there, and she was able to step back and hit a three to cut the Baylor lead to 8 at 63-55. Now Talia Scott spins, looks for a teammate, fires outside to Markayla Johnson, puts it on the floor, in the paint, cut off, bounces down low to Kirsten Johnson, turns and misses the short right-hand shot. Oh, she was right there, point blank, and just a little too much English on it. Now here's an opportunity to cut it to a two-possession game for Lindenwood. Wernley on the drive, gets inside and catches Scott backpedaling for the foul. That foul against the Bears will send Wernley to the line, and that is Scott's second foul, the team's second. Lindenwood playing in such a way to make you just a little bit nervous. They've scored the first 5 points here of this fourth quarter.
And they're on a 13-0 run since the end of the third quarter.
First free throw by Wernley, perfect. She's got one more coming. 8 points for their guard. 7 points and assist for Wernley. She's got one more, and it also is good. She hits them both, and it is a 6-point game. Alicia Jones, who led them with 21 points against Harris Stowe, returns for the Lions, and now Baylor with the basketball up by 6. Still looking for their first points of the fourth quarter, a minute 40 in. Talia Scott has it with the right hand. Wants to drive, now switches left, cut off by Scoff. Swings it outside to Markayla Johnson, now further out right side to Bella. Puts it on the floor, knifes inside and finishes. First score of the fourth quarter for the Bears. Bella now with 21 points, the lead is back to 8. Brigham in transition lets a three fly. It's on line but too strong. Long rebound out to the perimeter to Talia Scott. Now the Bears making moves in transition. Scott with the hesitation. Now they'll set up in the half court. They get back, give it off to Bella Fauntleroy. Up top to Kirsten Johnson. She tries to pass it to Markayla Johnson, and Brigham cuts in front and knocks it out of bounds. Baylor will keep it with 14 seconds to shoot. We got Markayla Johnson, the freshman, Kirsten Johnson, the senior transfer. So we'll call them Markayla and KJ for you this year, so there's no confusion. Baylor plays it in with 12 on the shot clock. Scott to Markayla. Markayla on the drive around a KJ screen, gets beneath the basket, pushes it in the right corner. Bella is all alone and hits a line drive three. Bella with 24 points. The Baylor lead, just like that, is back to 11 after they had cut it to 6.
Markayla with a really good decision with the basketball. Drive the baseline and find Bella in the corner.
And now KJ with the block on a driving Maya Scoff. Gives it off to Dariana Littlepage Bugs, and here come the Bears. They're going to slow it down with 7 minutes to play in the ball game. Talia Scott looking for an opening, finds it as KJ sets the screen, and Talia Scott knocks down a long three, just offset midcourt to the left side.
Again, just stepping into that three-pointer.
Now the Bears are on an 8-0 run in the last minute, 10 seconds, and the lead is back to 14 in a flurry. There's Kelsey with the basketball. Puts it on the floor. Kirsten Johnson on the guarding her drive. She forces up a tough hook and hits. Really, that was just a matter of Kirsten Johnson stood her ground, and she had to force it up there, and she was able to flip it in. And the Baylor lead is 12, 71-59. 6:22 to play in this one. Bella Fauntleroy, 24 points. As she drives, well, her layup hit every part of the rim before falling off. A little too much on it. Here's a kick out in transition by Lindenwood. Nielsen off the bench, missing the three, and the rebound caroms into the left corner along the baseline, out of bounds. It'll be Baylor basketball. Mass substitutions for Lindenwood: Coffee, Jones, McCairn, and Wernley back in for the Lions. Talia Scott, by the way, with 29 points. It's her most points that she scored as a freshman in February of 2024 when she was an Arkansas Razorback. And then now a turnover as the Bears trying to set up in the half court and throw it out of bounds. 71-59. Baylor with the lead, 5:50 to play. Here is Jones giving it off to Brigham. Brigham had a nice third quarter with 14 points. Burnley with it, swings it right side to Brigham, steps into a three, leaves it short from the right wing. Rebound chased down by Markayla Johnson along the baseline. Now she is double teamed, and Coach Nicky calls a timeout to just keep her from having to make a decision. The freshman who was double teamed and pinned against the baseline at the far end of the floor. We'll take the timeout as well. Fans, the 2025-26 women's basketball season is presented by Central National Bank. Proudly serving Central Texans in Waco, Temple, and Austin. Bank different. Bank Central. Central National Bank. 5.5 minutes to play in the home opener at Foster Pavilion. Bears lead at 71-59 over Lindenwood on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
The Toyota Trucks Game Day sales event is on, and there's no one key to victory. You need strength. You need power. You need agility. You need a team that shows up ready to win. And Toyota Trucks, yeah, they bring the full roster. The Toyota Tundra and Tacoma are built for it all. With available bed-mounted power outlets, massive towing capability, and a cabin fit for your crew, Toyota Tundra and Tacoma don't just show up to game day, they dominate it. Kick off the season with big savings during the Toyota Trucks Game Day sales event. But hurry, these deals won't last forever.
Toyota is a proud partner of Baylor Athletics. Wear green, haul gold in a new Tundra or Tacoma. Built to take you wherever the road leads. On. Visit your local Toyota dealer today.
Toyota, let's go places. See packages and options at toyota.com for feature availability.
You're listening to Baylor Women's Basketball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
In Waco, Texas, on the campus of Baylor University, Baylor Bears leading Lindenwood 71-59. Just down University Park's Drive in the Farrell Center, number 23, Baylor volleyball wins the first set over Utah 25-19, and the Bears leading the second set right now 8-6. An important game for Baylor as they continue to move forward in towards the end of Big 12 play, and make sure that your standings or your standing in the Big 12 is such that you end up getting a good seed in the NCAA tournament. It's that time of year again. You've got soccer looking for the NCAAs, volleyball looking for the NCAAs, and basketball, we're just getting started.
Volleyball trying to put the finishing touches on their postseason resume. Soccer has done their part. Their selection show is tomorrow. Find out where Michelle Leonard and the Baylor soccer team will be headed. What a great year they've had. Really, I think the work that Michelle Leonard and the coaching staff's been doing has built that program to this point, and they've been one of the better teams in the country all year long. So really, volleyball's at that place as well.
They sure are, and super exciting to see Baylor soccer be able to continue to level up and have a great year, and for it to be extended. That's what's so exciting now.
Well, Baylor football back at home this weekend against Utah, 6 p.m. kickoff at McLean Stadium. So lots going on here. Baylor women's basketball playing in Las Vegas this Friday night. On the road again, Lori, heading to Las Vegas.
Okay.
Yep. Little shorter plane flight.
But I am very glad, though, that there's a 6 p.m. kick on Saturday.
Yes, I was sweating that a little bit myself, and so, I'm glad it's at 6 o'clock and not 11 a.m. So otherwise, you and I would have just about pulled up and be like, all right, everybody, here we go. You can start now. Yeah, we'll coming back red eye from Las Vegas Friday night. So if you were so inclined, I'd say a little prayer for us in this airplane situation, Lori. I don't need I don't need these kind of nerves here.
Yeah, I don't know if you can get an Uber that can get you back to Waco.
Not from Las Vegas. Yeah, it will be like hauling down. Hopefully, we're not trying to haul down a private plane from someone. Be like, hey, stopping off in Waco on the way back. Man, I think we'll be good. But all that to say, November is always busy. It is crossover season in a big way. Baylor plays it in following the timeout called by Coach Nicky. That was the first timeout called by the Bears. It's a 12-point Baylor advantage, 71-59. Van Geitenbeek, KJ, Bugs, Fauntleroy, and Scott on the floor, and a Baylor turnover gives it back to Lindenwood. They could cut it to 10 with a 2 or to single digits once again with a 3. Kelsey with the basketball for the Lions. Swings it left side to Jones. Down low, mid-post, left side. It's Coffey. Kicks it in the corner. Finds her open teammate, but Wernley's three's a bit too strong. And KJ collects the rebound. 3 boards, 7 points for Kirsten Johnson. Baylor has gone 2 minutes and 1 second without a point. Bugs trying to change that. However, her shot is altered at the rim, and she banks it too hard. 71-59 Baylor, 4:43 to play in this one. It's Brigham. Right side to Wernley. Back to Brigham. KJ guarding her. Long arms up in the air. Brigham directs traffic as she bounces to the right side of the arc. Now bounces it to Kelsey. They're going to swing it back and hit a cutting teammate. That's Jones, who stepped on the baseline as she tried to feed. No, I beg your pardon. A foul is called on the Bears as they tried to feed Coffey in the corner. That's going to go against Bella Fauntleroy. And that is Bella's second, the team's third. 4:25 to play in this one. Inbound to Wernley. She has an open look at the basket, but shot puts it up too hard. They get the offensive rebound, though, and hit Brigham in the corner for 3. That cuts the Baylor lead to 9 again. It's 71-62. Last time Lindenwood got much closer than this, the Bears authored an 8-0 run to push the lead right back to double digits. There's Bella Fauntleroy driving, cut off, kicks it out to Kirsten Johnson. Open look at a 3, and she spins it home. Second 3-point bucket of the game for Kirsten Johnson. 12th of the afternoon for the Bears, and the lead is back to 12 at 74-62. Wernley fires a fastball overhand to Coffey on the left side. Now to Kelsey. Swings the elbows, wants to drive on the shorter Van Geitenbeek, gives it off to Brigham. Shot clock at single digits and a whistle away from the ball. And
where's that a charge?
I think that's a charge. There we go.
Because when I looked at it, it looked like Bella was run over, but nobody was moving.
That's on Gracie Kelsey, and it's the first foul on the Lions here in this fourth quarter. Comes with 3:36 to play.
Okay, let's see if Baylor can use that turnover on the foul and get some more points.
Here's Johnson, Kirsten Johnson with 10 points, the third Bear in double figures after that 3 a moment ago. Bella kicks it in the corner to Talia Scott, who drives right baseline, hooks it in a crowd to Bugs, but it's knocked away and stolen. Kelsey comes out of there with it. Just not enough room to make that pass there that she attempted. Here's Wernley on the drive right baseline. She gets a defender off her feet and draws the foul. That's going to go on Talia Scott, her third, and the team's fourth, and it will send Wernley to the free throw line, where they are 13 of 20 on the day. 65%. Glad they're struggling a bit from the line. Baylor's at 88% on the day from the line, but you know, honestly, right now, Baylor with a 12-point lead. If they make 3 or 4 more free throws, it looks just a little bit different. First free throw good. And one more is coming. The Baylor lead 11 with 3:08 to play. Second free throw rattles out, and Fauntleroy collects. 3:05 to play, Baylor by 11. Jana Van Geitenbeek with the left hand to dribble, has the ball knocked away by Jones. Gets it back, Van Geitenbeek looking for her first point. She does have 6 assists. Oh, she has a nice little floater that's halfway down and pops back out. And it's rebounded by Jones into the front court, has the ball spiked away. Fight for the loose ball, and a jump ball is called. Baylor basketball.
I think Jana Van Geitenbeek is the one who got her hands on that basketball and started the scramble.
Jana tried a little floater at the other end that was halfway down and popped back out. She's still looking for her first bucket of the game. 0 of 5 from the floor, but Loria 6 assists, just 1 turnover. That's good.
You know, those are the positives you can build on. I think she's more of a playmaker than a scorer, although we saw her pop that big 3 late against Duke. And I think that came off the assist on a scramble situation for Bugs.
Well, and that was a case where Coach Nicky took her off the point and said, you're going to get an off-ball 3. And sure enough, she did. 2.5 minutes to play. Here's a pass in the corner. Jana Van Geitenbeek fumbled the pass, but got it back. They're going to swing it around the arc to Buggs. Back to Jana. Faces the basket with 9 to shoot. Jana has it knocked away. Johnston there to collect. Now Jana again. Kicks it out to Scott. She'll unload a 3. It's short. And the rebound is grabbed by Coffey. Coffey has 7 rebounds for the Lions. Now she fakes a pass right, drives left, and then throws it with too much mustard on it for Warnley, and that's turnover to the Bears as Brigham returns along with Nielsen for the Lions.
Haven't seen a whole lot of those unforced errors from Lindenwood. That's one of the few that I've seen, and Baylor has a chance again to take more time off the clock, but also execute well here in the half court.
Let's see if you can finish strong here, up 11, 74 to 63. Well, that won't be on this possession as the Bears get Buggs down low, and she fumbles it out of bounds, although I think Coach Nicky believes there was a little too much contact there along the baseline.
Buggs just doesn't go and loses. It does not go and lose the basketball just indiscriminately like that without some sort of contact. I think that's what Coach Nicky was trying to say.
Just over 100 seconds to play in this one. Wernley throws it in a crowd. It's knocked away and stolen by Bella Fauntleroy. I mean, that should just about do it, but a bucket here makes it academic here with 90 seconds to play. It's Talia Scott in the left corner, fakes a pass, drives baseline, now retreats beyond the three-point arc, gives it to Buggs. Around the horn they go to Van Geitenbeek. Jana on the right side, dribbles to the free throw line, fakes a pass, turns, spins it out to Fauntleroy. 8 to shoot, 1:15 to play. The Baylor lead is 11. Bella Fauntleroy sees a lane to the basket, knifes inside, and lays it in. She's got 26 points for the Bears.
What a game for Bella Fauntleroy. Her career high came against Cincinnati when she had 29 points and 7 3-pointers. But boy, she has been on fire from the get-go of this basketball game.
Under a minute to go now. The Baylor lead is 13. Here's a shot missed by the Lions there. Nielsen out of bounds, and it's going to stay with the Lions with 46 seconds to go. But, you know, Baylor, you look, Lori, despite some scoring droughts in this game, despite some sloppy stretches, they're going to win this one here. Likely by double digits, 76 to 63 right now as Norwood, Jones, Coffey, and McCarn return for the Lions. And I think it was meaningful that you get some moments, some minutes for players who didn't see as much time on Monday. Yuting Dong, 10 points. Kayla Nelms, or not 10 minutes, I beg your pardon. Nelms, 4 minutes. Pemberton, 7 minutes. So you got a few players some work who didn't see it. 43 seconds to go, inbound to Jones. She'll step into a 3, spins off the board, and it's grabbed by Dariana Little-Page-Buggs, her 6th rebound of the afternoon. This will be Baylor's last offensive possession, very likely, as we're down to 30 seconds to play, 21 seconds to shoot. Talia Scott with 29 points, gives it up top to KJ, now to Jana Van Geitenbeek. Van Geitenbeek to the right elbow, pulls up for the jumper, too strong. Offensive rebound, Kirsten Johnson, and now the Bears can hold the ball. That offensive rebound will close things out here as Jana Van Geitenbeek content to dribble the clock away. We're down to 7 seconds to go as the Bears will improve to 2-0 and defend the home court today for the first time and the first opportunity of the year as the clock hits 0 with a 76 to 63 win over Lindenwood. You can see Coach Nicky compliment to Amy Egan, compliment them on that effort. There was a good effort by Lindenwood, but Baylor, with a 16-0 run to open the game, wins this one 76 to 63.
You know, when you think about it, Baylor playing Duke, that's when you're playing as the underdog and you come out with a big victory. I think that's the same thing for Lindenwood. They looked for an opportunity to play against a top 25 team and accounted themselves really well. And, you know, they could have been buried right at the very beginning. I mean, they were down 18-0 to start the game, but never quit. And I think for Baylor, you see that you've just got to continue to lift yourself through the full 40. And I think sometimes it's a reality check, and it's always a really good thing, especially early in the season.
76-63, Bears win. 29 points for Talia Scott, 26 for Bella Fauntleroy, 10 for Kirsten Johnson. We'll talk to Kirsten Johnson along with Bears head coach Nikki Collin coming up on the First Central Credit Union post-game show. Bears are 2-0 following a win today over Lindenwood, and we'll be back with stats, interviews, scores, and more here on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Are you tired of slow internet? Are data caps and throttling making it impossible to stream your favorite shows and movies? If so, it sounds like it's time to switch to Nextlink Internet. With Nextlink, there are no data caps and no throttling, just super fast internet speeds, up to 1 gig over wireless in some areas. Plus, Nextlink is an official partner of Baylor Athletics. So don't wait another minute. Give Nextlink a call or go online to nextlinkinternet.com to see what special offers are available to you. Blazing fast internet is just a click or phone call away. Sick 'em, Bears!
Today we have two very special guests on our program, introducing Lem and Lime.
Hello.
For Starry Lemon Lime Soda.
Thanks for having us.
What is Starry Lemon Lime Soda?
It's a crisp, clear burst of lemon lime flavor, and it's caffeine-free.
Between us, one of you must be a little more important to Starry than the other. Who is it?
We're both important.
So we could just as easily be Starry Lime Lemon Soda.
No, that doesn't sound right.
Oh, I like it.
So you saying hip-hop could be hop-hip?
Works for me.
Starry Lemon Soda. Starry hits different.
Bluebonnet Health Services has been caring for Central Texans since 2004. Bluebonnet is locally owned and operated, which allows them the most interaction with patients each and every day, promoting compassionate care and integrity. They provide hands-on attention to their patients through a staff with years of experience. Bluebonnet Health Services provides home health care, supportive care, and hospice. Remember, it's your health, your choice. Ask your doctor for Bluebonnet Health Services.
A bank in any town USA treats everyone like, well, anyone. At Central National Bank, we provide Central Texans with a different kind of banking. We believe in people over processes, listening over telling, and helping our customers over helping ourselves. Come to Central National Bank and experience the difference. Bank different, Bank Central. Central National Bank, member FDIC. Proud partner, Baylor Athletics.
This has been live coverage of Baylor women's basketball. Now it's time for the First Central Credit Union post-game show. Brought to you by Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, championship partner of Baylor Athletics. Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance online to find a local agent today. Central National Bank, proud season sponsor of Baylor women's basketball. Nissan, innovation that excites.
Hey, Derek.
Libman.
Seattle's having a heyday with the Arizona Cardinals, man.
Premier ER and Urgent Care.
Good orders.
Better now. Stay tuned as we break down the game. Listen to highlights, talk with Coach Colin, players, and more. All coming up on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
76-63 went at that over the Lindenwood Lions of the Ohio Valley Conference. The Bears 2-0 on the young season following the win. They followed up the win against 7th-ranked Duke with the victory that defends the home court. And, you know, Lori, it seemed like, the Bears got opened up to that 16-0 run here. And, almost maybe coasted a little bit after that. But we'll hold these thoughts because we're about to be joined by KJ, Kirsten Johnson here. KJ in double figures today in her second game as a Bear at 10 points on 4 of 7 shooting. She knocked down her first 2 3-pointers as a Bear, 4 rebounds for her. KJ, good to have you with us. Thanks for joining us here on the post-game show. And first off, congratulations, 2 wins in your first 2 games as a Bear. And in both games, you had a really big impact.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, I just love being here. Like, just being here makes me so happy. This atmosphere, the coaches, the players, I'm getting back to myself, and I'm really loving it here.
Well, it's been great to see. You matched your career high with 8 rebounds against Duke today, 10 points. I'm curious for you, now that you're playing against competition other than Baylor and, getting to be out there on the floor, what's it like for you sort of finding your role? Because it seems, there's a lot of little things you have in your game that end up to be big things for the Bears. How's it going for you to figure out what it's like, whether it's playing in the post with Kyla or when the Bears go with a smaller lineup when you're out there?
Yeah, just trusting the system, and wherever Nikki kind of wants me to be, I'm able to just listen. I trust her a lot, so I know she has good intentions for me, and just being able to be versatile and be able to move and, listen if I have to be in one spot one day and in another spot another day. So just being able to do that for my team is super important for me.
We love to see players like Bella and Bugs who've really stretched their ability to shoot from the outside. And then we see KJ standing out there. And Kyla had talked about that, but you do have that range from three.
Yeah, it's something I've always worked on. Just got more confidence in it. So just being able to show my work is amazing.
Well, you can't get much better than 2 for 2. So 1,000% for Beyond the Arc today.
Hey, I want to ask you about the job. Obviously, Talia Scott and Bella Fauntleroy had a great day today. They combined for 55 of Baylor's 76 points. For you, when you've got some players out on the perimeter who can also drive with a hot hand, what are you thinking when you get the ball? How does that play into your mindset when you've got them hitting like that?
Yeah, just helping them out always. Kind of taking the load off because all the attention's out on them. So, be able to fill my role, if that's offensive rebounding or setting a screen or, running the floor, getting them open, just making myself in places where I can help and affect the team in positive ways.
These are you started off against Duke and you played in Paris. I don't know if it gets any bigger than that. It almost felt like an NCAA tournament game, and that was the first game of the season. But here in the second game, being able to play at home, jumping out to that big lead, 18-0, but really having to battle hard against Lindenwood. They really came and never really let up at all.
Yeah. Our defense was it was terrible. It wasn't what our expectation is, and we have to learn a lot. We learned a lot today, so we have to take this on the chin and see where we need to get better because we are going to face a lot of teams that are going to have, their offense was great, and it was good for us to be able to go through that type of offense. So, this is just a learning curve, and we have to get better. We have to learn from this.
All these early games, a lot of opportunities to learn. There's so many new players out there for the Bears. KJ, I want to ask you, as we get to know you, I know you're from Duncanville, so just up the road, a little, you weren't too far from home in Norman, but a little closer here now. Help us get to know you a little bit better. What's a talent or a hobby you have that Baylor fans might not know?
I love to paint.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I picked it up during COVID, so sometimes when I just maybe bored or just feel a little stressed, painting, me and my family do it a lot, so it really does help me.
What kind of things do you like to paint?
Anything like cartoons or, characters, stuff like that, just random stuff. I like pretty things, so whatever looks pretty to me, I like to paint it.
There you go.
Well, I love the pretty things. Good job.
Well, KJ, congratulations. Another big game. As you said, there's stuff you can work on, but you're 2-0. It's always good to work on things after a win.
That's right, yes. Thank you guys so much.
Great to have you here. Great to have you at Baylor.
Thanks
Appreciate you joining us here on the First Central Credit Union postgame show. Kirsten Johnson today, 10 points or most in a Baylor uniform to go along with 4 rebounds for the Bears in a 76-63 win. This is the First Central Credit Union postgame show. First Central Credit Union, everything we do for you. Appreciate Kirsten Johnson joining us. Some really good insights there to share with us. And as she said, they've got some things they can work on the defensive side. As we're joined now by Bears head coach Nikki Collin. Her post-game comments are brought to you by Alliance Bank. It's your bank. Now, Coach Nikki, usually after game, I usually try to start off with pick the biggest positive and ask you about that. But we just talked to Kirsten Johnson, and she said she felt like the team's defense, and her part in that, she said that she felt the defense was, I think she said they used the word sorry at times, and they've got to improve on that. So I guess I would ask for you to if you concur and where you would improve on that.
Yeah, I thought both sides of the ball were bad after the first run, where we got up big. I don't think our bench gave us a lift at all, and I think we have really good players on our bench. But I just didn't feel like we shared the ball very well today. Obviously, Bella and Talia had big games offensively and made shots, which was important. But we should have been able to get stops. You don't go on whatever it was, 14-0 run to start the game, and then just decide to give up layups and wide open threes and not communicate. We couldn't complete a simple high-low pass. They had a 5'6" kid guarding Bugs, and we couldn't play high-low basketball, turned it over 2 possessions in a row. We just didn't make simple plays down the stretch. 16 turnovers is way too many turnovers against this team. 14 assists on 25 baskets isn't good. Not a lot of positives, honestly, to me. Not after the first. I thought we came out like we asked them to come out, because I was prepared to go away from the starters quickly if I didn't feel like they had the energy. in this game coming off of Duke, and I thought they came out great. But we got to move the basketball. We're putting our head down and trying to create shots for ourselves, and we need to move the basketball and let actions happen. And when we do that, good things happen. Even late, Bella got a layup because we moved the ball 3 sides, and then she drove and got a wide open layup because the help side was gone. We got to do a better job sharing the basketball.
76-63, a Baylor win today over Lindenwood. Obviously, as you said, the big games, Talia Scott and Bella Fauntleroy, 29 points for Talia, 26 for Bella. What did you think about the ways they got those within the flow of the offense, and how big was it? There were some times when Lindenwood was creeping back in, seemed like one of them would make a play.
Yeah, I thought KJ hit a 3 during that stretch, too, to push it back out to double figures. It was probably good for us to have a team make a run like that against us and for us to have to respond. But to me, when you get teams down by 23 points, your next goal should be to put them down by 30. I thought our baseline out of bounds, Talia, I think, got 3 threes in that back corner against the baseline out of bounds. So I thought that was executed well. I thought she got going early. And then as the game went along, I thought most of Bella's shots, I thought even the ones she missed were good shots. Talia's just elite offensively. She can do a lot of things. She can't turn it over 5 times. She knows that. I thought at times she tried to make the last turnover, she had a wide open drift, needed to just throw the simple play instead of trying to throw an interior pass. We just got to clean it up. We just got to clean it up, and make simple plays. We should have high-load them to death. We wouldn't post-feed when I asked them to post-feed. This is a game we should have been able to get points in the paint from KJ and points in the paint from Kayla and Kyla. We just got to be tougher. We never be able to do that against everybody. But I thought our decision-making wasn't great. Even though we shot close to 50%, we should have been better.
Is this a game where the film doesn't lie and will help this team be able to see exactly what happened?
Yeah, people don't understand that a lot of times that while you're impacted by the name on the front of the jersey, I also think some of the things Lindenwood did are really hard to guard. I thought we guarded it the best when we started switching everything at the end, and Tony kind of waited to do that in the 4th. And he almost had to do it out of necessity because they had creeped under 10. Because if we chased over the top, they hit us for layups. If we went underneath, they bounced it back and hit some threes on us. Us giving up 9 threes is embarrassing. Now that's a good shooting team, and they are a high execution team. They're picked to win their league for a reason, so I want to give a ton of credit to them because I thought they executed at a really, really high level. They knew what they were looking for. They made simple plays. We didn't turn them over. We couldn't turn them over after the start of the game. They got us stretched out, and we chased them around, and we chased them around like rabbits with our heads cut off. So we've got to do a better job of understanding what people are looking for and giving them different looks and getting to the level of the screen and making reads. We were chasing them all night long, and then we were fouling them. We didn't have any foul discipline. While we had a lot of block shots against Duke, Duke tends to play straight up and down. They're super athletic. They pogo stick straight up and down. This team's not as athletic. They're going to put their body into you. They're going to lean in, and you got to stay vertical. And so, we didn't do a good job putting them on the line 22 times and giving up 22 3-point attempts. It just wasn't a good defensive game for us. Now, a lot of that had to do with them, and I give them a lot of credit. But we have to be better.
Well, Coach Nikki, now you kind of turn your attention to the week ahead at practice and then a game on Friday at UNLV. After Paris and kind of coming back and getting readjusted is now when you kind of start to get back into that. I don't know what the regular season rhythm really begins to look like for these players and so many of the newcomers to figure out what that looks like game in and game out to improve for the next one.
Yeah, it's GOAT time. It's that time where you take a day off and you prep for your next opponent, and then you prep for your next opponent after that, and then you take a day off. And, we have to do a better job preparing. We did not have a good practice on Friday. I thought our practice was better yesterday, but we don't need to waste days. We're really talented, and we won the game because we were a little more talented, but we didn't win the game because we executed at a higher level at either end. So, when the rubber meets the road, you play good teams, it's a combination of, hey, talent, but you got to execute. So When talent meets talent, you execute. I thought we executed better our game plan against Duke. I don't think we executed at a high level today. You know, I thought it felt easy at first, and we allowed that to snowball. We allowed, you know, the bench to come in and feel like, okay, we're rolling, I'm going to get mine. And not that they think that way. It's not like I think they have a bad attitude. I just think they felt that flow. Like, this is what we do. It's real easy. We're getting easy shots. We're way ahead. And then we didn't get stops. And we didn't get as good as shots, and we didn't get stops. And then that flowed into the second quarter, you know, and we never caught the same rhythm. And then the third quarter started, and I thought, you know, our starters were as bad as I've ever seen them defensively at the start of the third quarter in terms of defensive execution coming out of halftime. So, you know, we have to be better. I got to be better at demanding that at halftime, and they know we're not happy. They absolutely know that was not an elite performance, and we've got to be better. At the same time, look, that team's chosen to win the OVC for a reason. They've got a lot of veterans. They play well together. Brueggemann did an elite job of making us make mistakes, you know, and when we made mistakes, they made us pay. And then I thought they hustled to beat us on the glass. You know, it was hustle plays for them.
Well, Coach Nicky, we appreciate your time. Hope it's a good week of practice ahead, and we'll talk to you before the UNLV game.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Bears head coach Nikki Collin with her post-game comments. 76-63, the Bears get the win today over Lindenwood to improve to 2-0 on the young season as we roll on here on the First Central Credit Union post-game show. Everything we do for you. We'll take a timeout. We'll have stats, scores, and more still to come here on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Fox Sports Radio, 93.9 K230CK and KRMX HD3 Waco.
Baylor Nation rolls along with Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Start with award-winning service and factory-trained techs. Then shop our new and used lineup from cars, trucks to SUVs, all makes and models. Running a business? We're your Central Texas headquarters for ProMaster vans, cab and chassis and work trucks. For power and comfort, test drive the Ram 1500, the Motor Trend Truck of the Year winner again.